And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we have breaking news: the National Guard shooting in Washington, D.C. From what I'm reading, they said that 2 guardsmen from West Virginia were killed. May they rest in peace. Prayers out to their family. But there's some conflicting reports, and we have an initial suspect in custody. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the case against President Trump, the election interference case coming from Fulton County, Georgia, has been dropped. Finally, the case has been dead for a long time. Really, and I think the moment when it died was when Fonnie Willis got caught up with Big Nate. Okay, giving this guy 600,000 U.S. American cold hard taxpayer American dollars to do what? Gallivant around the country, go to wineries and hotels and hide from his wife the whole time he was doing it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Slender Man stabbing person, the Slender Man stabber, is that the proper way to say it? Anyway, the Slender Man stabber, who at the time was 12 years old and is now 23, was locked up in the group home until a 43-year-old transformer snuck in her window and helped her escape. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. If you guys are traveling, be safe. If you have already traveled, enjoy where you at. Enjoy some good food. I thought about traveling, but I kind of was waiting a little bit too late because of the whole TSA thing. What I didn't want to happen is get caught up in Hartsfield Jackson, and I got a nightmare of traffic. I probably would go a little bit later in the holiday season. I'm not really sure when I'm going to go back to the house. But yeah, shout out to you guys if you're able to travel, if you were able to have some really good food, some good, somebody was asking me on an Instagram stream last night, and shout out to you guys who were there on the Instagram stream. I apologize, I had to kind of end it a little bit early because the comments were loading. I don't know, Instagram, Meta, Facebook, they want to get in the way of my progress. But anyway, but shout out to you guys who were there last night. During the stream, I was talking about my favorite dish. Someone asked me, hey, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Now, I'm going to tell you my favorite Thanksgiving dish, but I'm going to ask y'all, what's your favorite all-time Thanksgiving dish? Just one thing, one piece of the dinner for Thanksgiving. Now, I'm going to preface my answer by saying this, and if you were there, don't spoil it. I'm going to preface my answer by saying this. I am a health nut. 24/7. I'm the kind of guy that'll put food on the scale and weigh it. I'm the kind of guy that's going to read the back of whatever I'm eating and see, okay, I'm getting X, Y, and Z. Okay, is it like I'm that guy. I'm the guy in the grocery store like this, reading the label. Okay, we got how much sodium, how many carbohydrates, added sugar, what's the country of origin, how many ingredients. I'm that guy. For real. So on Thanksgiving, that's one day of the year where I get to be a bit back. Just one day I get to be a bit back. Having said that, my favorite dish, drum roll please, chitlins. Oh yeah, hey, listen. Have you ever had smoked chitlins? Listen, I know they stink. Listen, I know it. I done been in West Virginia, especially when they cook them. I'll go down the street to the store, and from down the street, I could smell the chitlins. It's like if you follow the scent, you could get led right back to the house. Hey, the stronger the scent gets, the closer you are. It's like a dog following the scent to try to find the missing person. That's how I feel with the chitlins. I know you're going to say, ew, yuck, ew, yucky ABL, chitlins are nasty. Isn't that pig intestines? How could you eat it? Listen. Hear me very well. I am a health nut, but that one day of the year, I'm a be a bit back. I'm gonna be a bit back and live on the wild side. That's my idea of living on the wild side. Some of y'all do some extra stuff. You like to skydive and all that good stuff. Hey, you can have it. That's not really my cup of tea. But if you want to knock yourself out, my idea of living on the edge is, a saucer, a plate about that big with some chitlins. If my uncle make it, like if my mama, my uncle, and my grandma and them, if they make it, and then my uncle, if he smoke them, because he loves smoking some foods. If you smoke them, yeah, I'll be like, let me get a little bit of that. Matter of fact, let me get one of your glass dishes and some tinfoil so I can take it back to the house with me. Like that for real. You never had chitlins before? Okay, now look, listen. Hear me out. If you guys are going to go down this chitlin adventure, because I know some of y'all, I've never had it before. I want to try it. I'm curious. If you want to go down the chitlin adventure, do not cut corners. And what I mean by that is, if you are in Trader Joe's and you see some pre-made chitlins, pre-cleaned chitlins, don't do that. It's like getting Velveeta macaroni and cheese already made in the box versus baking macaroni and cheese from fresh ingredients. That's a difference. Do not get the pre-made, pre-cleaned chitlins. You got to go find an auntie that got the little flap right here. Okay, the flap that get the auntie with the flap on the arm. Okay, she got to be at least 45 years old, at bare minimum. Really, I would say 53. A 53-year-old black auntie with the flap. Get about 2 or 3 of them in the kitchen, and they got to be in there in the sink or whatever, cleaning the chitlins by hand. They got to have lemon. They got to have all of that, and it's got to take hours. The finished product is like, it's a delicacy. Don't eat that, but like once at max once a year. That's how I would eat chitlins. Okay. Like a Critchlow says, I rebuke ABL's chitterlings talk. But nah, for real. I know you guys might not like that, but yeah, that's my guilty pleasure on Thanksgiving for sure. Okay, now some of y'all, I was reading some of your comments before I started talking about the chitterlings, and I was asking you guys, what do you want? You guys said stuffing. Let me see. Alcohol is your favorite dish. Okay, stuffing with gravy, mashed potatoes and gravy. Y'all, you know what? You know what I don't like? I don't like gravy. I'm not a gravy guy. I guess it depends on who makes it. Really, a lot of things that I would eat, like let's say potato salad, that's a very specific thing. And if you don't make that, like, okay, macaroni, what I want to know is who made the macaroni and cheese, who made the potato salad, who made the chitlins, and for real, who baked this ham? Because if you ain't bake it all the way, I ain't trying to get no RFK in my brain. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to know who made them. If the auntie with the flap is not available, I'm good. If we got Gen Z, Boston, the Mania, if we got them in the kitchen cooking the food, I'm good, bro. I done seen some of your videos on social media where you're showing what you got at a potluck or something like this. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna eat none of that. Okay. I feel like some of these dishes got cat hair in it. I feel like some are just not prepared. They undone. It's like some things where if you stick a fork on the inside of it, it's not going to be prepared. It's not going to be done. The chicken ain't going to be right. I think we have lost the art of knowing how to cook in 2025, at least cook well. We've lost that art of being able to cook well. And some of these dishes that I'm seeing, it's a little suspect. It's a little suspect. Because everybody want to do Uber Eats and DoorDash and all this, that, and the third. That skill to actually slave over a stove and cook something from fresh ingredients, raw ingredients, that skill has been diminished because we rely so much on these apps and technologies and fast food and Uber Eats. We rely on that rather than knowing how to cook. I cook 5 days a week easily. I'm a very good cook. I'm an amazing cook, actually. Anybody who I cook for, they be like, hey, ABL got the best food. 100%. Because I've been cooking for so long, cooking for like all my life, since I've been in my teens at least. Absolutely. What I want to do one day is cook a Thanksgiving dinner. One day, I'm going to do all the things for Thanksgiving dinner, and it's going to be amazing. All right. Hold on. But I couldn't cook it I had to cook it by myself. I couldn't be in the kitchen with women because that's their sanctuary. I ain't trying to be in their way. If it's women in the kitchen, it's always been the rule, the men don't go in the kitchen. If you got Thanksgiving dinner where people are cooking, it's going to be the women, period. And the men go in the room, watch the game. But one day I'm gonna just kick all them out and just cook. Okay, B. Gatlin says no pork at all. Couldn't even think about chitlins. Nope, nada. I know a lot of y'all no pork. I'm all for it. I get it. No pork. I'm all for it. And I'm kind of the same way, which is why I'm kind of like hesitant to eat chitlins, even though I like them occasionally, because I'm not quite sure how my body will react to pork like that. But I have had pork recently. I had some pork sausage recently, and it was all right. But again, give me a little small saucer. I don't want no whole big bowl of chitlins. That's too much. A saucer, a side dish, a little, it's like cranberry sauce. You're not going to eat a whole plate full of cranberry sauce. It's just a little bit. And the cranberry sauce, the purpose of the cranberry sauce for you guys who have a good palate, an intellectual and refined palate, the point of the cranberry sauce is to neutralize your palate. So let's say, for example, you got a plate of food. You got turkey, you get macaroni and cheese, your cranberry sauce, a little side of chitlins, some stuffing and or dressing, whatever you want to call it, sweet potatoes, green beans. You can eat the cranberry sauce in between each of those different parts of the meal to get the full taste of whatever you're eating, because the cranberry sauce has cleansed your palate. That's an OG tip for you guys. If you are against cranberry sauce, that's the reason why I would use it for sure. Block MIT says deep fried turkey all day. Yes, the deep fried turkey. You know it. The deep fried turkey is the truth. Mauricio says, I don't mind pork. What's wrong with pork in moderation? Everybody's not the same way. Some people don't like pork because it's an unclean animal. And for real, if you want to be all the way real, any land animal is kind of like that. Well, the pork obviously is going to be a lot worse because they're kind of like the scavengers, the land scavengers. That's what pork is. But chicken, I mean, they pretty much eat whatever as well. Okay. And your cows ain't necessarily that clean. They're going to traipse around on their own waste all day long. That's part of the whole ecosystem. They out there in the pasture, they have their waste, and then that becomes fertilizer, and it all works together. Without the fertilizer, without their waste, you wouldn't be able to have, anyway, fertilizer, that's part of the waste is part of the fertilizer, which goes on the food that you eat. So it's okay. It's fine. You making love all sorts of gravy. Virgie, shout out to the gravy. It's just my own personal taste. I'm not really a big gravy guy, but if you like gravy, that's fine. Most mundane says pigs are the catfish of the land. Correct. Leon says I just hoover the whole plate and get completely full in 2 minutes. No, man, you can't devour the food. You have to really be able to enjoy the food. You got to enjoy the food. You have to be able to savor it. Yeah, nah. You don't want to do that. I used to do that, though, when I was young because my dad was like that because he was in the military. So I would observe him shoveling food because when you go to military, I guess when you in boot camp, whatever, and throughout your military experience, okay, you got to go eat and you got to just eat it in a certain amount of time. So I'll do the same thing. I was just copying him. But as I got to be older and I realized that I'm not in boot camp, I could just really enjoy my food and not shovel it like I'm a pig. Then I got to really enjoy it all the way. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Taylor says bacon is the greatest thing that God has ever made. So we got some differing points of view. Some say that pork is unclean animal. You shouldn't eat it. It's unbiblical and it's definitely haram. Oh, and also something that's probably not too kosher can pork be kosher? Let me know. Because I know the Muslims, they don't do the pork. Christians, we do pork, I suppose, but isn't it kind of weird in the Bible? I'm not really sure. Now, the J's, is pork considered kosher? Can pork be kosher? Is there such thing as kosher pork? Y'all let me know in the comments. Byron says only animals that chew their cud and have split hooves. Talking about the cows, or we talking about the pig? Wolverine says son of fisherman is fisherman. All right, hold on. Okay, so we got an ID on the shooter, Afghan national. I'm gonna look into that. Okay, I'm gonna look into that because we're gonna get to that in just a little bit here. Okay, yep, we got his name. His name, he's an Afghan national. Okay, so the DC shooter. Before we're going to get to the DC shooter in a minute, but what we have right now, what I see on my screen is the shooter's name is Ramanullah Hlakwana. Hold on, can I pronounce this? Wait a minute. Let's just throw it on the screen right quick, okay? And y'all let me know if you guys can pronounce it. If you guys can read this, y'all let me know. Okay. Who is Ramanullah Hlakwana? National Guard shooting suspect identified. So that's the guy's name. Okay, Afghan national. And this is a picture of the guy. Hold on, can we get a better picture perhaps, maybe? All right. Let's just see this right here. And you know what? I'm trying to find a picture, but I feel like he's naked in some of these pictures, so I can't show his situation. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna just show a rated PG version of that picture because we can't be showing the thing, you know, the stuff. So that's him right there. Okay. Now, right when I saw it, I'm thinking DJ Khaled. That's what I thought at first, right? I'm thinking, okay, beard, you kind of fat, whatever. Vape store owner, that kind of vibe. But again, he's an Afghan national named Ramanullah Hlakwana. All right. This is a suspect identified for shooting the 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. Now, some are going to say this is Trump's fault because he has a National Guard out there. They are wearing uniforms on the streets of America, and some Americans don't like that. Okay, some Americans not going to like that. Like a guy by the name of Ramanullah from Afghanistan. Oh, okay. So we're going to ignore that part. I want to see the media put their spin on this. Try to blame it on Trump. When really what this looks like is some Allahu Akbar type situation. Okay. This looks like a Aloha snack bar. And for real, Aloha snack bar. This dude right here been to the snack bar quite a few times. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what this looks like. A vape store owner went postal and did what he did. We've seen that happen a lot all over the world where you have Muslims, you're going to have terror attacks. Now, am I saying that all Muslims are violent? Nah, I met a lot of Muslims. I know a lot of Muslims, and the guys and girls I know, they're good people. However, inherently in the religion, there's going to be these kinds of conflicts. Now, I'm not even saying that he was motivated by that with 100% certainty because it's just happening right now and we don't know. But what I can tell you is that this pattern has been around since the beginning of Islam. It ain't nothing new. It's spread by the sword, and in many ways, it still spreads by the sword. So there's not nothing new. It's simple as that. But we're going to get to it, though. We are going to get to it. But in the meantime, in between time, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Hope you guys got some good food, a good plate. Okay, a really good plate. Yes, indeed. What y'all got to get is some chitlins in your life. Just one time. Look, if you don't want to eat pork, it's okay. But just one time, get you some chitlins and let it be from the auntie with the little, you know, the little, or your uncle got to have a little, your uncle, if you're going to cook it, he got to have that pregnant stomach. Okay, he got to have that big Nigerian elder investor stomach. You need to have that. Oh my, sometimes sit down for a moment. I'll tell you something today. I sit down. I have some chitlins for. Get one of them type of builds to make the chitlins, and you're gonna be good. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So, did the guy get shot? I've not heard that the guy got shot. I've not heard that the actual shooter himself got shot. So maybe he did, but I didn't hear anything about that. We're going to see a lot more. This is just happening today. So we're getting kind of like drip fed the information. We saw the picture of the guy being put onto the ambulance where he was naked. We saw that picture already. But what we didn't know was the guy's name or where he came from. But now we know that. So I feel like within the next day or two, we'll learn a lot more about who this guy is. And since he's not dead, we're going to figure out a motive, especially. Even if he was dead, we can figure out the motive. Just like all these other shooters, you figure out the motive after they die. But him being alive gives us a better ability to figure out the motive. All right. So hold on. Mr. Hawkslight says, Uncle, him downstairs makes the best food. Don't he? Don't he? Because he got that feminine touch. Hey, he got that feminine touch, but he got that masculine brain. You put it together, you got a whole chef. All right. You got a whole chef. That right there be the best chef. You know, Uncle, him downstairs. Hey, that food gonna be off the hook. I know a few guys like that were like really good cooks in restaurants and stuff like this. Hey, yeah, they throw down in their kitchen all day long. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I'm going to read some of the chats and then I'm going to keep rocking. I'm going to keep going with these sponsors and everything else just to make sure I didn't miss anything. You guys are funny talking about his name. Yeah, but we're going to see, like I said, the guy who did that, we're going to see, and we're going to get more into it. We are going to get more into it to see what happened. All right. What do you mean, masculine brain? Hilarious. Hilarious. Will they try to blame the J6 people on this? Will they try to blame who are they going to blame for this? If anybody's to blame, it's going to be the left for pushing their constant hateful rhetoric against conservatives, against National Guard, against President Trump's presidency. It'll be them. And I got videos to be able to prove what I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Sharon says, in my opinion, mac and cheese and potato salad don't belong on Thanksgiving table. Hey, you know what? That's going to be a hot take, Sharon. So look, Sharon, if you guys didn't hear what I said, says, in my opinion, mac and cheese and potato salad do not belong on a Thanksgiving table. That's wild. That is wild. Now, potato salad, okay, maybe, because sometimes I'm not really sure who made the potato salad anyway, so let's just not even really touch that or really dig into it, because I would say 75% of the potato salad dishes are not made properly. So that's okay for that to not be there for Thanksgiving, but the mac and cheese has got to be there. If you use Velveeta, however, I'm going to call the police on you because that's going to be a violation. Hey, if you invite me to your house for Thanksgiving and I smell Velveeta, I'm leaving. It's simple as that. I've done it before. Yes, I have. Hey, you know what? Thank you for inviting me, but I'm about to go ahead and I can't. So don't even do it. If I'm gonna smell it before I go in your house, because I'm real sensitive like that. I'm gonna smell it in my car on the way there, down the block. It's like chitlins to me. That's how strong the smell is. So if I smell that, hey, you know what? Let me just go back to the house. All right, I still got some salmon in my refrigerator from a couple of days ago. I can eat that. It ain't bad yet. I'm gonna do that rather than give them Velveeta. But anyway. A cold soup dish. Okay. What's in the cold soup? Color me abstract. What kind of ingredients, or is it a family recipe that's secret? What do we put in the cold soup? And shout out to you guys who make fresh food from fresh ingredients. You guys are the best. Give me a nice hearty meal that you were in the kitchen and you put your heart into, your love into. You chopped up vegetables. You're taking apart. You're cleaning the meats. Making everything nice and right, marinating it overnight. You guys are great. B. Gatlin says Velveeta isn't even real food. Read the ingredients. Oh, I know. Hey, you know I know, B. Gatlin. You know you are now on the same page. I just hope that everybody else knows. Yeah, we are on the 100% same page with that. And he says they do not sweet taters, mashed taters, dinner rolls, turkey stuffing, green beans, yellow mold, pumpkin pie, sweet tater pie. Oh, Campbell soup. I saw that about Campbell soup. Hold on. I'm going to try to put that into my thing here. Yeah, I'm gonna put that into my thing. I almost forgot about that. And the guy, maybe he wasn't all the way wrong, but I don't think you should have been saying stuff like that. I don't think you should have been saying that. That wasn't really very nice. But I'm gonna show that in a minute. And before I keep on going with the clips and everything, shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, shout out to the sponsors of today's video. Oh, hold on. I got a brand new sponsor. Well, the sponsor is me, but what I want to tell y'all is that I'm on Cameo. A lot of y'all have been asking me for that. Hey, ABL, can you please go on Cameo? Can you please, okay. I'm on Cameo. So if you search on Cameo, I will pop up. Hold on. Can I pull up my page right quick? Let me see if I can pull it up while I'm talking right now. If you guys, and what I'm going to do is put the link in the description and I'm going to put it in the chat so you guys can see it there. And if you guys don't know what Cameo is, basically it is a place where you're able to order a custom message from me. And I can get it to you within, what's that, 24 hours, I believe? Yeah. So you want to get your grandma or whoever a Christmas gift, whatever, you could do that right there. All right, there we go. All right, hold on. Do I have it? Let me just put the link just the way it's supposed to be. Okay, boom. There we go. All right, so it's right there. That's a sponsor right there, you guys. Cameo, if you guys want it, because some of y'all have been asking me for it. It's like, all right, well, let's do it. The Cameo link is in the description. And also, I just put it right there in the chat. And again, if you guys don't know what Cameo is, you're able to order a custom message from me. You go in there, pay your monies, and you could request, hey, ABL, can you say this? Wish my grandma happy birthday, happy anniversary, give a shout out to my cousin, whatever you want. Now, if y'all saying some weird stuff, some freaky stuff, I will decline and you get your money back. Okay. I'm not going to be in there saying nothing crazy. It's just not going to happen. So let's not even try it, because you will get your monies back. Matter of fact, and if I see something too crazy, I'm calling the police. Like, yo, get a soccer fan, buddy boy 859 and look at his phone, because it might be something on there. Click. That'll be what I do. So please be careful. But anyway, again, the Cameo link is in the box. Now, shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, and then somebody says it's going to be AI. Nah, it ain't going to be no AI going on, because it's going to be from me. AI, it's going to be hard for them to capture me. I think if you got an AI video of ABL, it'd be kind of obvious. I feel like it'd be obvious. If y'all can't tell the difference between an AI version of me and me, then y'all ain't really been watching. The AI gonna look so crazy and robotic, it's gonna be ridiculous. So if you go on Cameo and order a video, it will be me. But anyway, shout out to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY_BLOGAN.com. On the front page of the website, I have articles for each long form video that I produce. And in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, ANTHONYBLOGAN.com. Again, it's ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, ANTHONYBLOGAN.com/contact-us. They'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, ANTHONYBLOGAN.com. And as I always say, if you think you're conversing with me on the interwebs, you're probably not, unless you emailed me and then I emailed you back. And my email is contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. Again, that's contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. The email's on the website, so you don't got to remember. And y'all know who it's going to be. It's going to be some Indian dude, okay, with his feet completely on top of some masks he's making, okay. No socks, no shoes, sandals at best. It's going to be him, or it's going to be a dude over in Eastern Europe looking like Ivan Drago, Vladimir Putin, Volodymyr Zelensky, okay. If he dies, he dies. Or it's going to be a guy who might even look like me in some village in Nigeria taking all your hard-earned monies. You get him on the phone. Hello, who is this now? This is ABL. You've contacted the right person. You've contacted me now. And if you send me the gift card, I'll return the favor in kind. So please, I beg, give me the gift card today. No, what do you mean? This is ABL. You know, contact and subscribe. It's me. So please don't get scammed like that in 2025. And it's a holiday season. We got Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving right now. Nobody has time to lose all these monies today. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. German student says, pulled pork sliders on Hawaiian rolls. That is such a big back dish, but it sounds so good. My. Hey, some of you guys have such great suggestions. If I was to eat some of your food, eat at your house, I'd be big as a house. I'd be looking like Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory when that guy got real big or the girl got real big, like the grape, look like a circle. I would be a literal circle in your house. I would eat so much food, they got to put a little cherry picker on me. Like they had that dude in the bed. Put that on me with a harness and take me out of the house that way. Throw me on the flat loader and roll me away. That's how much I would eat in your house. But anyway, speaking about Thanksgiving dinner, let's look at how much your dinner cost in 1981. Yes, 1981. Okay. I was born 1984, so I'm still as old as that sounds. But let's look at it right quick. Again, 1981. How much did Thanksgiving dinner cost?
Thanksgiving dinner 1981 will not be as expensive as some people may think. We took a typical list of Thanksgiving dinner items to 4 different grocery chains in the Albuquerque area to compare prices. We purchased items to feed 6 adults. Here's what we found. A 12-pound turkey averaged $6.69. The average cost for 12 ounces of stuffing was $1.04. 15 ounces of cornbread mix averaged 69 cents. 2 15-ounce cans of green beans averaged 76 cents. 3 pounds of yams averaged $1.59, and a 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream was 57 cents. 1 16-ounce can of cranberry sauce cost an average of 57 cents. A 16-ounce can of pumpkin also cost an average 57 cents. Mincemeat ranged in price from $2.29 to $2.99 for a 28-ounce jar. 2 9-inch pie crust averaged 65 cents, and 8 ounces of whipped topping averaged 73 cents at the 4 stores. The total show the most expensive of the 4 stores we shopped was Furr's, with a total cost of $17.83 for the items, followed by Smith's at $16.52, Bag and Save at $15.77, and Albertsons at the low end with a total of $15.75 for all items. As you can see from our figures, you can enjoy a complete Thanksgiving dinner for a little more than it might cost to take a family of 6 to a fast food outlet on the weekend, if you shop.
Wow. So $17, $15, $16 for a Thanksgiving dinner in 1981. And they said that was the equivalent of taking the family of 6 to a fast food joint back then. 6 people to a fast food joint. Listen, $15 might get you a meal and a half at McDonald's today. It might just be one meal. If you get a combo, if you get a sandwich, a drink, and fries, you'd be right at $15 at most fast food joints. Right around that. Okay, and then go get some groceries. You getting chicken, beef, fish, pork, whatever. It's going to be almost that price for a pack of whatever you're getting. Chicken breast, chicken thighs, fish. It's going to be kind of close to that whole dollar amount for the whole meal, for that one piece of the meal. AMG says, I think minimum wage in 1981 was $3. And the minimum wage argument is kind of hard to even make that argument because who was getting minimum wage back then? Like, how many of us were actually making that money? And today, 725, who makes that money? I'm seeing people flip burgers for 15 an hour where I live, not even in a real big city. Go to LA, go to California, make it $20 an hour to flip burgers. So, of course, when you have these really high wages for burger flipping, you're going to have a lot of inflation to come along with it. So, yeah, that's what it was back then, 1981. Definitely, we've seen a pretty big increase. We've seen the increase in prices so much that ain't no more pennies, that there's no more pennies. And one thing to remember, this is back in the day before debit cards existed. Do we have credit cards back then? I'm not really sure, but it was no debit card back then. A debit card was seen as something that wasn't even going to be a real thing. A debit card? Why would you have a debit card? Who's going to use that? Why don't you just use cash, write a check? That was the argument back then. People were really anti-debit cards. But now the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, they say cash is cringe. It's cringe to have cash on you. Who carries cash? They use all the electronic stuff. They don't use cash at all. A lot of your younger generation might not have bank accounts at all. They might be using Chime and Cash App for the bank account. But anyway, here's the Campbell soup situation. Hold on, excuse me. 1 second. Coconut water's on deck. I got some dust that's like right there. Okay, credit cards, it exists, but no debit cards at that time. Yeah. So AMG says you had a debit card in 1984 when you were 18. You had a debit card or a credit card? Because I feel debit cards didn't come out until the 90s. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I remember debit cards coming out. They didn't exist throughout my entire life. Just like the smartphone didn't exist, the computer didn't exist, laptop, all of that came about as I was living. When I was young, there was no laptops, no cell phones, no desktops, no debit cards, no internet. All of that was not even a thing. All these things came about later, much later. Taylor says, I saw a statistic the other day that said 10% of the U.S. population in 1970 was obese. Now it's only 40% of the population. Yeah. We were not obese back then because we weren't given all this free food and free things and ease of life we have today. See, back then, what people don't want to talk about back then, I'm going to pause for a second and then I'm going to get to the next video. Let's just talk about this for a minute. People seem to, the younger generation talks about the boomers, how easy they had it. But what they don't understand is that they lived in a different time. Would the Gen Z want to live in that time? No internet at all. None. No internet. No cell phones. No computers at all. No laptop, desktop, nothing. No video games. Nothing that we have today. The modern technology we have, anti-lock brakes, electric cars, these things that we have, these modern conveniences did not exist during the boomers' youth. It just wasn't a thing. Okay, going to the mall, getting Jordans and stuff like this, it wasn't even a thing that they really, in order for them to have money, they had to work. They had to work, whether they wanted to or not. You can say the job they had was easier, but it wasn't a big safety net for them to just land into. They had to work. It wasn't an option. And whatever the work was, they had to do it. So whether they work at the steel plant, at the coal mine, or whatever, they had to work. And they had to use their hands. They worked very hard for what they had. Now, unfortunately, their kids benefited from, well, unfortunately and fortunately, the kids benefited from what the boomers did and how hard they worked. But since they did benefit from their hard work, they did not do as much hard work themselves, which made them softer, which made them be resentful of their parents, not knowing what their parents had to go through to get to where they were. That's a reality. That is the truth. So people live different times. So when you want to talk about the boomers, how easy they had it, how cheap things were back then, understand the time in which they lived and how hard they worked. Today, I'm seeing adults working age, chilling, not working. It's like, that wasn't really a thing. But anyway, speaking about society, haves and have-nots, whatever. The Campbell Soup CEO, I believe, got caught talking about chicken noodle soup and the ingredients, and it's for poor people, and he wouldn't eat it. All right, let's go ahead and check it out.
Former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's not healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
So they're saying Campbell Soup says, oh, we don't have any 3D printed meats. But your VP got caught saying your VP said you have 3D printed meats and it's for poor people. So was your VP lying about that when he said that? Was he lying? Did he know it was being recorded? Probably not. Why would he lie like that in private? For what?
Recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for the themselves. I'm like, you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? Do y'all eat Campbell Soup? A lot of the canned stuff I'm not really a big fan of. I think that's like if you are an emergency, you got to have like some food to eat. Your fridge is empty, you have no money. That's like what you eat in an emergency. You know, that's kind of how that go. Back in the day, we would collect cans like that. Okay, you might get a can with your groceries, put that in the cupboard or a pantry or wherever you can find space. You keep that for an emergency, where ain't nothing else to eat. But that's not what you would eat normally every day. So maybe it is for poors or whatever, and it might not be the best, but it'll help you when you need it. That's kind of how I always saw it. That and also, what's the name? Vienna sausages. I kind of put that in the same category as emergency food, not what I would eat all the time. Now, someone said, what's up with the DC shooting? I promise I will get to the topic when I get to it. You only got to worry about it. Just sit back and enjoy the show. You'll be good. Now, before I get to that, let's continue. Remember, Kamala back in the day said, hey, wash your greens. Or she said that she did wash her greens in the tub. Now, would you wash your collard greens in the bathtub? Y'all let me know.
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around. So what you got right, Molly?
All right, so would you guys eat some of Kamala's greens? Now, she might be able to cook some greens. She might be a good cook. But I don't trust everybody's bathtub. I don't trust nobody's bathtub, really. If you're using that to wash your body, how are you cleaning that tub? I'm not trying to get a little bit of your your biomass into my collard greens. You understand what I'm saying? Look, I see one little piece, one little chunk. Matter of fact, if I see that whole process going on, or the greens in the bathtub, I'm out. Don't even worry about it. It's okay. All right, but yeah, shout out to her. That's an old clip, a throwback clip. And then also another throwback clip. Remember Fauci and all this stuff? Remember you couldn't go to Thanksgiving? Oh, if you didn't get vaccinated, you can't go to Thanksgiving. Remember that? It's funny how just, what was this, about 4 or 5 years ago? It's funny how he said this back then, but now all of a sudden it's not really a thing anymore and it's okay. Okay.
If someone in your family isn't vaccinated, should you ask them not to show up?
Yes, I would do that. I mean, I think we're dealing with a serious enough situation right now that if there's an unvaccinated person, I would say, I'm very sorry, but not this time, maybe another time when this is all over.
If someone...
Okay, there we go. So it's all over now, but what caused the whole vax scare to be over? Is it because everybody got vaccinated and it's okay now? No, actually not. Or is it because the virus isn't that bad and we all realize that? I think that's what happened here. I think the virus targeted those who were already immunocompromised and or elderly. That was the main target of COVID-19, but the vaccination targeted healthy people. And then that became an issue to the point where the Johnson & Johnson vaccination had to get pulled from the shelves. Oh, it's safe, ABL. Everybody has it, ABL. And then they said, well, actually, the Johnson & Johnson one is kind of dangerous and it might kill people. So let's go ahead and just quietly take that off the shelves. All right. Anyway, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let's get to, hold on. Airports, traveling. If you guys are traveling for Thanksgiving, hopefully you guys did not encounter any kind of delays or any ruckus, any melee like they had at LAX.
Sandra, you can obviously see it behind me. It appears that another protest has broken out here at LAX in Terminal 7. It appears that these workers are from USWW. Unclear what their protest or what they want right now, but it seems like some sort of contract dispute. So just another hassle for travelers that are passing through LAX today. Back to you.
My goodness, happening right now. All right, Max Gordon live there at LAX for us in the middle.
Okay, so look, we see a sign. We deserve fair wages. What does that really mean? And here's my question to those who were out there protesting at LAX who say they deserve fair wages. Who did you vote for? Actually, I'm talking about the president. Do you think President Trump is racist for his policy of deporting illegal aliens? If you think Trump is racist for that, then why are you out talking about you want fair wages? You know what? One of the best ways to improve your wages is to deport illegal aliens, because illegal aliens, they do quite a few things negative to this country, but one of the main things they do is suppress wages. You should be in favor of the deportations. You shouldn't be out there trying to block ICE and trying to record them and dox them. You should be joining forces with ICE rather than being in the airport hooting and hollering, getting in the way during Thanksgiving travel. So yeah, shout out to them out there in Los Angeles, LAX. If you guys have traveled, hopefully your travels were not interrupted by such nonsense. Now, here's Sean Duffy saying what a lot of us already know to be true, that maybe you shouldn't wear pajamas and bikinis. Look, I done seen a little bit of everything at the airport. I done seen everything. Pajamas, I don't understand. I don't understand someone who would wear pajamas in public. That kind of thing was unheard of when I was young. But now it's like, whatever, you could wear pajamas and it's fine. Okay, let's check it out.
But I think we have to think about, how do we do a better job? How do we, maintain maybe some of that frustration we have as we travel this Thanksgiving season? Maybe we should say please and thank you to our pilots and to our flight attendants. I think, again, I call this just maybe dressing with some respect. whether it's a pair of jeans and a decent shirt, I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport. I think that's positive. But
I agree 100%. Slippers, pajamas, and then the bad attitudes at the airport. Cussing out people in the airport working for no reason because you're frustrated. Okay, you could be frustrated. It might be a long line in TSA. Maybe you came late for your flight. Maybe you didn't check in, whatever. Okay, I need you just to relax, pump the brakes, and don't get too triggered. Don't get triggered. Just go to the airport, get to your gate, have a good flight. But the dressing, the pajamas, I hate it. I hate the pajamas, and I also hate the skimpy attire with the women wearing. It's just too much. I don't. You got little kids roaming around the airport. Here go this lady looking like she about to go do something else, some kind of inappropriate stuff. I don't want to see that at the airport. Certain attire is okay for the beach. Certain attire is okay for the house. And then some attire I think should be present in public. Now, am I saying you got to be dressed like the best dress? You could be looking like GQ, something from a fashion magazine. Nah. But your slippers, your sweats, not sweatpants, your pajamas, your elk and reindeer pajamas with your slippers on. And you know what? I got one more thing. The most important thing that y'all need to do before you go to the airport is wash your hind parts. Listen, the most important thing, because look, I don't know what it is in 2025. I feel like people are not washing themselves correctly. They're not bathing. Because there's articles talking about, oh, you don't got to wash up. Washing every day is performative. Well, look, some of y'all need to wash every day because look, hold on. Matter of fact, I have an image of an article. I'll put it to you for you guys right quick. All right. Daily showers are purely performative and have no real health benefit, experts insist. Now, I don't know about the health benefit. But I think that showers have a big benefit on how your body smells because some people, some of these adults are musty in the airport. Musty. All right. Now, we get some people, I'm looking at them before they come down the aisle. I'm like, all right, where is this guy from? I hope and I pray that he's not musty. And sometimes my prayers don't get answered. And I'm smelling whatever all the whole flight. And I can't do anything about it. So yeah, please don't be musty in public, man. Take a shower, wash your hind parts. That's the most important thing. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's okay for you to wear pajamas if you wash your hind parts. That's my actual compromise with you guys. But anyway, hey, that's right, NKM. Don't wash up at the airport. Wash up before you get to the airport. Before you get in the Uber, before you step out of your house, make sure your body is washed. Because some of y'all smells are not hitting on nothing. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. ABL, get to the shooting. Please, ABL. I got you. All right, so look. What we know is that 2 National Guardsmen from West Virginia were shot in Washington, D.C. Now, there was conflicting reports. Some said they died. Some said they didn't. Now, it was reported by the governor, I believe, West Virginia, or somebody. It was reported by somebody that was like a real official who said they died. What I'm reading right now, let me put it on the screen for you guys right quick. Hold on. What I'm reading right now is that they're in critical condition. So let's read right quick. National Guard members shot near White House are in critical condition. Officials called the shooting a targeted attack by a lone gunman who was identified as a man from Afghanistan by 3 people familiar with the investigation. So people are probably calling, they're giving tips like, yeah, that's Mohammed Mustafa, whatever his name is. Okay. So that's the scene of the crime right there. Again, initial reports stated that he was dead, but now they're saying that he's not dead. Okay, now they're saying he's not dead. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm getting the pictures. Okay, we got some more guard out there. And then that's more of the scene. All right, we got the FBI, ATF, everybody, all the alphabet boys out there because you're in D.C. This could be considered some kind of, thing that could be against the president. And that's more the area right there. So again, we got 2 guardsmen shot in critical condition. Initially, they were said by official sources to be dead, but they're not dead as of yet. And I pray that they survive. All right, hold on. Let me read some more of this right here. The suspect is accused of critically wounding 2 National Guard members in a shooting near the White House, entered the country in 2021. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because this is important. This is a very important part. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? Let's go back. The suspect accused of critically wounding 2 National Guard members in a shooting near the White House entered the country in 2021 through a refugee program for people fleeing from Afghanistan, according to 2 people familiar with the investigation. Local officials said the suspect, who was also injured after opening fire in a busy tourist area on the day before Thanksgiving, appeared to have acted alone, targeting members of the West Virginia National Guard. Now, some are going to say the reason why this happened is because Trump has troops on the streets of D.C. and some don't like it, which mean Afghan nationals who really probably shouldn't even be here, who clearly did not get vetted properly, who probably was a terrorist in Afghanistan, and we imported them here in 2021. During the Biden administration. Let's be clear with who we're talking about, and let's be clear what the motivation is. Let's be clear about that. Okay. So you wondering about that, Taylor? Yes. The guy came in during Biden specifically. And let's go back. The suspect was identified as, Islamic name, number 45, Rahman Laquinal, 29, by people familiar with the investigation, who spoke of condition anonymity because they were not authorized to share details publicly. They said he came to the United States through a program known as Operation Allies Welcome, which provided entry to Afghan nationals fleeing the Taliban takeover of their country after their chaotic withdrawal of U.S. troops under President Joe Biden. Oops, sorry, crazy withdrawal. We didn't do that right. Hey, Afghan, want to come to America? Cool, come on. Your background check, and I'll be good. We don't worry about that. It's okay. We trust that you're not a terrorist and you're not coming to America to kill us. We trust that. Come on, it's fine. Okay. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Trump says let's put 500 additional troops in D.C. All right, and it happened near the entrance to the Farragut West Metro Station, just blocks from the White House, which has a history of violent attacks in its vicinity. All right, so that's what's going on right there. Let me ask you a question. Are you guys surprised at this? Meaning a guy that came from Afghanistan during Biden, probably not vetted properly, probably rushed over here because they were embarrassed from that botched withdrawal. Are we surprised that this happened? Y'all let me know in the comments. All right, and was he in Washington State? Is that where he was? I've not seen that, but that's possible, I suppose. Okay, again, he's 29 years old, and let's get another picture of him right quick. Let's get back to the picture. I'm not going to show him naked on the gurney or whatever's going on. And I don't know why he's naked. Like, why are his clothes off? That's the question I got to ask. Okay, why am I seeing why am I seeing that on my Google? I don't want to see that, So here is the censored picture again. All right, this guy, 29 years old, from Afghanistan, came here in 2021 under the Biden administration after the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. All right. Please, sir, I'm not Taliban. I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. Please, I'm not Taliban. Come on. I know shoot. I know bomb. All right, whatever. Whatever, bro. Hey, you know what? You better hope and pray that those guys don't die. Oh my goodness. Hope and pray. We're all going to hope and pray they don't die, but he most certainly should, because he about to get the hey man, you about to get the ultimate. Whatever the ultimate is, you about to get it. So that's what's happening with the shooting. Do I have more? I don't think I have any more right now. Let me see if I can find another video right quick before I move forward here. All right, he looks well fed, very well fed, right? Hey, I wonder if he's on that. I wonder if he's on welfare over here in the USA, because there's a high percentage of them coming to the country as refugees that get on welfare. Imagine if we were the ones feeding and clothing this hog, this pig, this violent animal. Imagine we were the ones feeding this guy and clothing this guy for him to go out there and do that to us. But again, this happened because of the Biden administration not properly vetting people, in my humble opinion. Now, if he was properly vetted and or not allowed to come over here, then it wouldn't have happened. You see, not only the illegal aliens, but those who were brought here under the improper pretense, they need to be reviewed as well. They got to be reviewed. You know, and it's just a matter of national security. Very simple. All right, right. So they didn't make it. Well, I'm seeing different things. Some say that they are still in critical condition, and some say that he died. So it's conflicting reports. All right, hold on. This is National Guard. Let's see if I can find something right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up.
I want to bring in our Jay and Brian, who's there on the scene. You have some other witnesses, I am told. Jay, I know our photographer, Chris Plater, Jay, was there on the scene getting pictures even of those National Guard members on the ground getting worked on by EMS. Let me know if we can talk to him. Tell me who you've been talking to. Who's with you, Jay?
So we've got a number of eyewitnesses here lined up for you. One of them is Chris. Kira, we're going to go to him in a moment. But first, I want to bring in Stacey Walters here, a Howard student who was in an Uber when you heard some of these shots. Howard alum. Yeah. You were in an Uber when you heard some of the shots. Is that right? Yeah. Walk us through. So you're in the car. You hear the shots. What happens?
I was in the Uber. I heard boom, boom twice. I was looking at my cell phone, and the Uber driver said, "Why are all these people running?" So then I looked out the window, and it was little children. They looked probably about 5 years old on both sides of the street running, and adults. And whoever was supervising the children said, "Go, go, run." Then I heard someone yell, "Help, help," in the direction of the shooting. But I didn't see who yelled help. I don't know if it was the individual who was shot or someone yelling for help for the individual. We're on 17th Street Northwest. So I knew I wanted to research Slender. So I asked the Uber driver, "What's the cross street?" But he didn't know. And I was just at lunch going to go to the dry cleaners. And then the guards, I don't know if they're guards, secret.
She know something ain't right with her. I'm gonna move forward. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully she all right, but I feel like she might not really be, you know what I mean? The elevator ain't gonna. It's like what I said about the other young lady. That plug is a little loose. Hopefully she good. Hopefully everything is okay and she's able to process what happened properly. All right. Now we got Unc. Let's come on. Let's get it, Unc. Let's get a good account of what happened.
I want to bring Chris in here as he steps around the camera. And Chris, you've been with us for the entire day. It was you who called this in to our bureau. What did you see at first? What did you hear?
Okay, so it's what I heard first. And what I heard were, pop, pop, pop. It could have been a steel plate or something. There's a lot of construction and things going around. So I just thought that maybe it was some plates going on or something like that. But then boom, boom, boom. And so I'm starting to hear these big guns. I'm like, okay. This is something's going on. So people at first were a little shocked. It was stunned, like, is that construction? And so some people kind of jogged a little bit. And then when those big booms started happening, people started clearing out like, yo, this is a little bit serious. This is shooting. There's something bad going on here. So immediately I went forward to see what was going on. And as you see in the video, I see 2 National Guard members down. And people are working on them,
providing first aid.
There was, some police officers that came a little later. It was kind of strange because it seemed like it took 25 to 35 seconds for any police to respond. When you think about where we are, the White House, so close. And so that's when I was like, could it really be? But it really was. These National Guard members were down.
So, Chris, in relation.
All right, I'm going to pause right quick. Rebel Without a Reason says the suspect waited for the guardsmen to turn the corner before opening fire. He only had 4 rounds, but managed to hit the female guard in the chest. He then approached her, took her weapon. Took her weapon? Wow, 7 shots. TJ Jizzle.
To where we're standing now, we're across the street from the metro station. Can you describe where you saw the activity and what you saw where in relation to where we are here?
Okay, so where we are right now, I came up and crossed the street.
So you were you were a block away on the other side of the street.
I was right here at the metro stop. Yeah. I went over there to see what was going on, and that's where you see the video. I began videotaping, and they at some point got to clear us out and move us back here on this corner here. And so then I continued shooting and waiting, and that's when the police were responding and everything. So it was just all here, just a lot of people just running the opposite way through the park and past me, and there was some people that were one person said something like man, the guy went up there and started shooting at the National Guard. I didn't get to talk to him. I didn't get to know who he was, but it sounded like he suggested that somebody went up and started shooting at the National Guard.
So Chris, just to walk back a second.
So clearly, like we've been saying the whole time, like I've been reading the whole time, this was a targeted attack. The guy purposefully shot at the National Guard. It wasn't a random shooting. It wasn't a stray. It wasn't somebody he had a problem with, some kind of interpersonal issue that affected the guard. No, the guy targeted the guard specifically. And again, if you're just not coming in, the shooter's been identified as a 29-year-old Afghan national who came here in 2021 after the disastrous U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And the guy came here as a so-called refugee. Okay, not very well vetted, obviously.
Can hear. One of the things you saw was very graphic, and we have to describe it with care here. But you did see, and you videotaped, one of the, or both of those National Guardsmen having first aid provided onto them lying on the street. Is that correct?
Yeah, one National Guard was lying on his side. They were rendering aid to him. He wasn't moving, but he was on his side. And then I looked at the other National Guard member that was down, and I saw compressions going on. There was a lot of people around there, so I don't think it was the person that done the shooting. And all I could tell you is that I identified 2 National Guard members that were being worked on.
All right, there we go. So there's, of course, it's going to be an ongoing story, but that's what's happening so far. 2 National Guard were targeted, shot. Afghan national, 29 years old, came here under the Biden administration in 2021 as a so-called refugee after the disastrous withdrawal. That's crazy. That's going to be a story because this is a mistake that compounded upon itself, because the first mistake was the Afghan withdrawal. A complete embarrassment, disaster. It was a mess. And then after we do such a thing, such a horrendous thing we do, we invite the Afghans to come over here. After that, maybe we should have done something like that beforehand. Maybe we should have done a more logical and reasonable withdrawal rather than just leaving abruptly and then dealing with it later, kicking the can down the road. Okay, let's do this right now. And hey, if it goes wrong, so what? Oh, well, we'll deal with it later. You're dealing with it right now. Now, let's look at some of the reaction. Okay, we got some reaction. Hold on, from a lot of your news media, and not just reaction, but also some of the people that provocated this. Okay, because that's most certainly been a thing that's going on here. Hold on, give me 1 second while I get this properly in order. So this is MS Now. Remember I told you guys that MSNBC has rebranded, or they will rebrand into MSNOW. So that's happened. You see the lower third. Hold on. You might not be able to see it right there. Let me come out so you can see that it has the new branding. All right. You see it right there at the bottom.
But of course, there's so much controversy happening in the
MSNOW rather than MSNBC. So the channel formerly known as MS13DNC or MSNBC, now known as MSNOW, has given their 2 cents on the whole situation.
But of course, there's so much controversy happening in the United States right now with ICE, who are also wearing uniforms and wearing masks. And so there's.
Hold on. We got some remarks from President Trump.
Extraordinary gratitude to every member of the United States military who is deployed tonight at home and abroad. I also want to thank the Secret Service and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department for their work today. This Thanksgiving, I ask every family to say a prayer for the two great heroes who were so horribly shot, and for their loved ones. Please say a prayer. May God bless them and comfort them, and may God bless and protect the United States of America. Thank you and good night.
All right, let's go back a little bit because I do have this is live and it has DVR. Let's go back.
Holiday, fellow Americans. Earlier today, on the eve of the Thanksgiving holiday, two members of the National Guard serving in Washington, D.C., were shot at point-blank range in a monstrous ambush-style attack just steps away from the White House. They had been deputized as part of the most successful public safety and national security mission in the history of our nation's capital, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, which has achieved an unprecedented reduction in violent crime and crimes of all type. This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity. The hearts of all Americans tonight are with those two members of the West Virginia National Guard and their families. The love of our entire country is pouring out for them, and we are lifting them up in our prayers. As we are filled with anguish and grief for those who were shot, we're also filled with righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about. Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival. An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them.
There we go. Now, the rest of that we just heard, but this is going to be on President Trump's YouTube page. Go check him out right there. Again, we're talking about the situation that just happened in Washington, D.C., where two National Guard were shot by an Afghan national who came here in 2021 under the Biden administration after the disastrous withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. They had a refugee program. Hey, we're sorry about the crazy withdrawal. When it comes to America, are you a terrorist? Are you sure? No? Okay, come on. And then we get this that happens. A targeted attack on National Guard members. Obvious what happened here. So shout out to President Trump, and somebody said that the people die. Well, what we have right now is that they have not died. They're in critical condition. Now, I've read multiple sources. At first, it was reported by official people that they had died. But what we're getting right now from the mainstream media, from all sources, they say that they're in critical condition, that they are not dead. Hopefully they survive and make a full and complete recovery. All right. Now, let's go to MS. Let's go to some of the reactions. This is going to be MSNOW, formerly known as MSNBC. This is them reacting to it when it was happening pretty much live.
But of course, there's so much controversy happening in the United States right now with ICE, who are also wearing uniforms and wearing masks. And so you don't know people walking around with uniforms in an American city. There are some Americans that might object to that. And so apparently this shooting has happened.
Okay, so you know what? Because you have National Guard in the streets wearing uniforms, some Americans might object to that, and that's why this happened. Okay, so by some Americans, do you mean an Afghan national who's probably a terrorist? Is that what you mean, bro? Is that what we're talking about? A guy who just came here in 2021? All right, okay. Cool story, MSNOW, a.k.a. MSNBC. Now, this is going to be Jennifer Griffin from Fox News. With friends like this, who needs enemies? All right, this is her take on the whole situation. RIP to the headphone users.
Remember, the National Guard was deployed to Washington, D.C. by the president. They were not asked for by the mayor, but the president decided that there was so much crime in D.C. that he needed to send in the National Guards. It's been a very costly mission since August 15th when they were deployed to the nation's capital. It's cost about $68 million to keep them here since mid-August. But now the ultimate cost is that they have been put into a kind of law enforcement position, even though they had hoped that they would, we've seen the scenes since mid-August, Aisha, of them cleaning up trash, of helping, basically helping just provide sort of a sense of security here in the Capitol. It's really quite shocking, especially when you remember the president said that crime was really down in D.C. and that there were no shootings anymore. This is a real wake-up call on the eve of Thanksgiving. But again, going back to, you asked about their training, the guardsmen really are not trained in law enforcement. And that is...
Let's pause. Obviously, it's not a waste of money or resources or time for them to be there because there's a dangerous element. If there were no National Guard there, do you think that that guy wouldn't be in the country still as a dangerous person? So that guy could have presented himself anywhere in D.C. What if he just shot out somebody else because they were available? Or he tried to go do some bomb situation in a sensitive area in D.C.? Clearly, they are needed. And Trump said he's going to send 500 more because clearly there's a problem. There's an issue. There's most certainly an issue. Don't worry about the cost, all of that, because the security of your nation, the nation's capital, it needs to be secure. And if you're able to have security in other American cities, why not do it? And you know what you could do? If Jennifer Griffin, if you want to just have fewer agents on the streets, what we could do is just ramp up deportations to get the dangerous element out of here that should not be here. We can't get rid of everybody that's dangerous on the streets, American citizens, because we don't know what they're going to do in the future. But if you're here illegally, that might be a great place to start. And if you're here as a refugee and you might be a little bit dangerous, you might shouldn't have come here to begin with. Maybe those people can be looked at again, go through their file with a fine tooth comb, magnifying glass, whatever you got to do, and say, you know what? That might not be the kind of guy we want in the country. Just maybe. If I was in charge of reviewing some of these applications and I see Allah Akbar in there, I don't know these names, Muhammad, Allah, Ramadan, whatever, some kind of amalgamation of those three names. Your name is Allah Akbar Johnson. You came from Afghanistan in 2022 under Biden as refugee. I'm looking into your background. It ain't much there. It's kind of a mystery. All right, Allahu Akbar Adams, you are going to have to go back because obviously this ain't really going to work. It's simple. But anyway, now this guy, to kind of go to a different thing, but in the same category, this guy was part of Antifa, and he's saying the kind of things that they do. It's very similar to ISIS. So if you have Antifa and ISIS and other subversive groups in the country, maybe, just maybe, you should do something to try and suppress these groups before they become more dangerous than what they are. Suppress these groups before they go out and shoot National Guard. Am I off? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's check it out.
Say they're going to kill someone, or they think it's justified to attack someone because they're a fascist, for example.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like whether it's people deserve to die, they have no human rights. It's like calling someone a Nazi or a fascist. It's a way to just dehumanize them. You can do whatever to them. You can assault them. It's funny to them. They laugh about it. They don't kill you because you're a fascist. They call you a fascist so they can kill you. You know, it's just a way to dehumanize people and threaten them. Originally, they were trying to bully and threaten like what they would consider right-wing extremists, like Proud Boys or like Christian nationalists, that show up to protests or events. They're bullying them. That's not the target anymore. Now the target is anyone that doesn't agree with them. Socially, when I'm not at a meeting, I'm just hanging out with people that I know, more and more they talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and the shit scares me.
Why do you think some of these people that you know are arming themselves and going to gun ranges and so on?
They feel as though they're under threat. Well, we're going to be genocided or put in prison, or Nazis have taken over America, and so we have to act now to stop it.
That kind of rhetoric and those ideas, do you feel that it's kind of like a radicalization or
Yes.
self-radicalization, almost akin to, let's say, an Islamist group?
How is this different than a group like ISIS?
It's the exact same thing. It's the same thing, just a different packaging. Okay, you guys got the blue hair and the they thems. They got the Allahu Akbar and all that good stuff, and the ISIS music with no instruments. They got it's the same, just different culturally. So this is why guys like me and you guys as well have been for a long time talking about Antifa. Years. Y'all know I've been covering them for years. I've been covering them in America, and I feel like they kind of go under the radar for a lot of people. The general normie does not even know about Antifa. They know about ISIS, but not about Antifa, although I think that they're both of equal importance when it comes to being a threat, especially here in the USA, but all over Europe, especially as well. You got Antifa and you got ISIS because they keep bringing in the migrants from the Middle East because they got a low birth rate and they got to bring in some people. They're bringing in Africans and they're bringing in the Middle Easterns. So yeah, shout out to that guy for keeping it all the way real. All the way real. Now, this is going to be a throwback clip, well, to this year, maybe like a month or two ago, something like this. You got guys like Don Lemon riling up the Antifa, the ISIS, that kind of crowd. And please be clear. Please understand. Don Lemon, MSNBC, all these people, organizations, outlets, they know that these groups exist and they know how to communicate to them. They know how to activate them. And that's going to be very dangerous. You have a society in which people like this exist. The provocateurs, the instigators, and those who were easily led by this messaging. Empty-minded people, soft-minded people, people who think they're doing the right thing for themselves and humanity, but all they're doing is being used as cannon fodder in the left's war against the right, against and the war of the light versus the dark. The dark use tools like the guy from Afghanistan, like your Antifa. They use them as cannon fodder against the good side, the right side. Check it out.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Black people.
Now, first of all, I've not seen any black person, any black American get deported. If y'all have seen a black American get deported, please let me know. Send me email. Send me a bird message, a text message, a two-way pager message, a beep, a code, a smoke signal, something. Because I've not seen it. That's the first thing. The second thing, the Second Amendment is for Americans, bro. Americans. Not illegal aliens, and not those who really shouldn't be here. The Second Amendment is for us, Americans. Okay? If you're here illegally, you got to go. And you know what? Here's something else. If you are an American and you commit a crime, you are going to have the federales, the police, or whoever, you knock on your door, knock, come on out, you're being arrested. And you really can't fight back against it. And either you're going to go the easy way or the hard way. As an American, if you committed a crime or you are a suspect in the crime, you got to go as well. It's simple. So yeah, Don Lemon, these kind of words, this kind of rhetoric is going to inflame those who have those weak minds to go out there and do what you want them to do. Attack the good people. Attack those who were trying to ensure we have security in this nation.
Look at these.
All right, this is going to be Alyssa Slotkin, a senator. She's a sitting U.S. senator. Hold on. Alyssa Slotkin. Okay, Slotkin. Where is she from? She is from New York. Okay. So she is a senator? Yeah, she is a senator. No, Michigan. She's from New York, but she is serving in Michigan. All right. As a Democrat, of course. A Democrat. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians.
So, now a little bit of context. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you the context better than I can tell you. Let me show you the context here. Because this woman was in that video that you may have seen. Okay? Remember this video? That's her right there, straight in the beginning. Okay, remember all the senators talking about you don't have to follow unlawful orders. To me, that's a dog whistle to say, don't do what they say if you don't like it. That's what that sounds like to me. And if you are a sitting senator, a sitting congresswoman, congressman, whatever you want to say, you should not be talking like that because you are encouraging sedition. You are encouraging the military. You are encouraging the guard to just go against the orders they're being given. So that kind of behavior should not be tolerated. And that's what they were talking about right there in that very first clip, talking about, oh, they might get nervous and they might go out and shoot somebody. Did the guard get nervous and shoot somebody, or was that the Afghan national who did that, who shot at the National Guard?
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
Boom, there you go right there. You are sending a dog whistle to people to say, if you don't like the order, don't follow it. So that's why you were being asked about that in the very first. Let's go back to the first clip right quick. That was the context. Now let's go back.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians.
She's got to go. She's got to go. And she could take Marjorie Taylor Greene with her. She could take everybody in that video with her. They got to go because you are really intentionally, in my opinion, trying to destabilize this country. And how are you going to do that from inside the government and have it be okay and have that not be viewed as sedition? You got to go. Now, to be clear, I'm not advocating for any kind of violence against anybody. But I think that if you are a sitting member of Congress, you're in the Senate, you're in the House, whatever, and you do stuff like that, you got to go. Resign, get removed by your constituents. Something's got to happen, in my humble opinion. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here's one more guy from that same video talking about it. Okay, this guy is, what's his name? Jason Crow. He's a House rep. And where is Jason Crow from? Where does he serve? Jason Crow serves Colorado, 6th District of Colorado. All right, let's watch.
Let's get to the content of what you had in that video you released, because there are also 15 House Republicans who are also veterans who released a video, including a retired 3-star Marine Corps General, Jack Bergman. Take a listen to this.
Troops, listen up. Any service member who refuses a lawful order is subject to court-martial for violating the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
We study what's lawful and what's not lawful, and the Democrats stunt insinuating that they're illegal or unconstitutional orders. It's downright dangerous.
It is corrosive. It is meant to weaken our country and weaken the military.
Now, let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back. Do you see a difference between this video and the other one we saw? Do you see a difference in the people that are in the video? It's a big bump in the quality of people. Am I right or am I wrong? Y'all let me know.
Weaken our country and weaken the military.
How do you respond to these allegations from your colleagues, fellow veterans, that what you have put out there is weakening and corrosive to the military?
Well, these unfortunately are some of Trump's core supporters that are rallying behind the president, and they know better. They know exactly the difference between lawful versus unlawful. We were very clear in the video that what we're talking about is unlawful orders. You have the president's spokesperson going into a press conference this past week and saying that we called for people to disobey lawful orders. They're simply lying because the truth is unacceptable to them. It's unacceptable. We wanted to start a conversation, and we did, about the dangerous rhetoric this president is using and the threats that he's made to use our military in an unlawful way.
Specifically what?
Well, send troops into Chicago, send troops into polling stations, kill terrorists' families, arrest and execute members of Congress.
All right, so there we go. There we go. So shout out to him. And I'm still getting conflicting reports about the guards, because some say that he died or that they died. Some say that they didn't. I'm seeing something that came out at 3:42 p.m. from the governor of West Virginia that said that they died. But then I'm seeing other reports that say they didn't. Okay. And I have something here from the governor. This is going to be Patrick Morrisey, the governor of West Virginia. Let's go ahead and watch this right quick.
Earlier today, 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen were brazenly shot in Washington, D.C.
This was an act of unspeakable violence. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to the brave service members, their families, and the units who are enduring this terrible tragedy. We're going to work hard with West Virginia. I know the state stands behind the Guard. I know the president, who I just spoke to, stands behind these courageous service members and our state to get through this really difficult time. But just know, we're going to keep working to make sure that justice is served.
Well, there we go. So this was at 7:30 p.m. And somebody said he just posted. That was the most recent post aside from this one. There's one more here, but he was just on TV talking.
Joining us now is so much for joining us tonight, and our condolences to you and all the people of West Virginia for the events of today. What can you tell us about these? Yes, indeed. What can you tell us about these two National Guards troops who are from your state?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I know that right now every West Virginian is praying for these guardsmen. These are folks that go into harm's way. They never think about it, and they are truly courageous West Virginians. So we're really proud of them tonight. And I can tell you, I spoke with President Trump a little bit earlier tonight. He's very proud of them as well. West Virginia had a significant presence on the ground in Washington, D.C., and obviously these folks had a brutal attack, and we're all going to get to the bottom of it. But what I can say is this. These are people that stepped up to serve their country and to serve their state, and they're working really hard to ensure that West Virginians and Washington, D.C. gets protected. So we're going to leave some of the personal information out because obviously we want to show respect to the families, but I could say that these are courageous folks.
Okay, so like I said, they're praying for him because they got to, try to recover and get better. But there's nothing that says that they actually died. There were conflicting reports earlier, but as of right now, they're in critical condition. All right, hold on. We got a troll for real. Hey, man, Teen Mace says, I'm a bootlicker. Bro, I mean, if you're going to troll, just sit back and enjoy the show. Because regardless of whether you trolling or you just enjoying it, it don't even matter. It's still a view. So it's okay. And if you spend your days watching me as a troll, that must mean that I'm important to you in your life. Because I'll tell you what, one thing about me, I would never spend time doing a thing that I really didn't want to do. I would never take time out of my own day to troll somebody because I'm giving them my energy. I'm giving them my time, and my time is too precious. If your time is so cheap like that, and at the same time you're poor enough to worry about me, then that means you got too much time in your hands. Take that time rather than being a basement dweller who does not shower at all. Take that time to be better than what you are right now, rather than worrying about me, or just sit here with me and just waste time hating. You could do that. That's fine because I benefit from that, but you don't. I benefit from your laziness and from your own ignorance. You could benefit yourself by not wasting time right here trolling me. But anyway, if you want to stay there, that's fine. Go ahead. Hey, make yourself comfy. I got coconut water. I got regular water. I got some tacos in the fridge. We got a party. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, don't worry about it, Fremont. That's all good. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's totally fine. People want to troll. I let them troll. But we'll keep on rocking and rolling. Now, do you want to see how trolls look in real life when they exit their basement? When they get their once a year daylight. Hey, once they get their once a year outing from the house, from their basement, this is how they look. You ready? All right, let's go. We got a protest. Shout out to our nephew, Nick Shirley, yet again on the scene, covering a protest. All righty?
No one talked to this loser. No one talked to him.
Oh, ma'am. Why are you so angry?
I'm not. I'm just telling people not to waste their oxygen and give you oxygen.
Oh,
You're just here to troll people.
I breathe no matter what, so.
Okay, well, I'm just saying no one needs to give you oxygen. You're
And
here to troll us.
And I'm not here to troll anybody. I'm just asking you guys what you guys are doing out here today, or what the protest is about.
Just demand the impeachment, conviction, and removal
of not only President Trump, but his entire corrupt, whatever they're called, the whole administration. Okay, and if you, I'm not going to discuss it any further, but if you continue to harass people...
Oh, I haven't harassed anybody.
Well, we're going to be following you, so just leave people alone, okay?
Even with your CBS News. Then,
Okay.
people will talk to you.
Okay, amazing. So, but what do you guys want him to be impeached for?
Leave my wife alone.
Oh, I'll leave your wife alone. I don't want to touch your wife. I don't want nothing to do with his wife.
Suggestion for you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you would go down by the reflection pool and listen to the speakers
Okay.
who have knowledge of why we are all here, you might actually learn something. Have a nice day.
Oh, you have such a great smile, ma'am.
They are so they got the same kind of pattern. Like they're very, very passive aggressive, and then when they say something like a mic drop moment, they walk off. Now sometimes they try to get violent and they want to do something to you and walk off. I'm like, walking off, so you just gonna spit on me or punch me in the jaw and walk away? Nah, I'm gonna grab you by your hair. It's gonna be like yank. You got your feet up in the air. You're gonna be all on the ground. Your pocket lint, your crochet stuff gonna be all on the floor. Male, female, it don't matter. But yeah, shout out to our nephew Nick out there on the scene. And at least the protesters did not put their hands on them. They were just expressing themselves. So I appreciate that. I like that a lot. We can have a conversation and it doesn't have to get violent, out of control. Yeah, that's what I like. Now, shout out to President Trump for beating the case yet again. Teflon Don, he can't do nothing to him. Hey, they tried to put the federales on him. They tried to put everything on him. Stormy Daniels, the federales, and they even tried to shoot him. They shot him in his head. They soaked the feds on him. The local police, the harlots, women of the night, they sicked, is that the word? They sicked all those forces on him and they can't do nothing to him. Yo, we witnessed a miracle live on television. Butler, Pennsylvania. He got shot in his head and didn't die. It was the chart he was looking at over here. He go like that and it just misses him. How you get grazed in your head? Like God was on his side that day. But anyway, the case in Fulton County, Georgia, election interference case where we got the famous mugshot has been dropped. Now, this thing was a dumpster fire from the beginning because remember how the whole story went? Remember that whole saga? I covered that extensively. I know y'all remember. Fani Willis. Now, Fani Willis should have never gotten into the situation to begin with. She shouldn't have been there because, number one, the incompetence with Fani and all of them is real. The whole situation, her whole team, incompetent. But beyond Fani Willis's incompetence, and again, this is a prosecutor out there in Fulton County, the DA, beyond her incompetence was her inability to control her nether regions. You understand what I'm saying? Without being too graphic, the guy right here, that's Big Nate. Hey, y'all got me watching Scandal, not Scandal. Y'all got me watching, what's the name of that show? With Olivia Pope, not Olivia Pope. I'm not a TV guy. I Got Away with Murder. With Annalise, what's the Viola Davis? Yeah. This dude right here is that's the big black dude that Annalise be with. That's him right there. Same type of situation. Bald head, built black dude, married, same dude. It's like, good grief, Shonda Rhimes. You got a great mind. Anyway, this guy was Fani Willis's sugar baby. When she took on the Trump case, trying to get him indicted, she was able to get access to a bunch of monies, a lot of monies. Munyon, big money, as they say in Atlanta. The Munyon was raining from the sky. She gave her sugar baby, Nathan Wade, the married guy, not married to her, married to a whole 26-year marriage with grown kids. You paid him $600,000 of taxpayer money improperly before the trial even began. So that was your first mistake right there. That was second mistake. The first mistake was taking the case on at all, thinking that you could take down the president. And the second mistake was using the opportunity to be a scammer. Look, I know it's Atlanta, but come on now. You don't got to be that stereotypical. Really? A DA scammer? Anyway, this case was doomed from the beginning. And then when this whole thing was revealed with her, Nathan Wade, the improprieties, married man, taxpayer money, it was over with. It was only a matter of time. And really when Trump won the presidency, it was definitely over with. All the cases against him went away. The New York stuff, this allegation, that allegation, all of a sudden went away when he became the president. Same thing happened in 2016 when he first became president with Stormy Daniels and everybody else. All that just went away when he became the president because the objective was to use these things to keep him out of the White House, and it didn't work. Teflon Don. Teflon Don, that's what that is. Okay. A black thing. What are we talking about, Robert Bray? What's a black thing? A sugar baby? Didn't I just show you the sugar baby that cut herself up for the white dude, for Jeff Van Drew? Didn't I just show you that? Like, what are we talking about? A black thing. At least Big Nate didn't cut himself up and tie himself up and be on the side of the road. All he did was just have an affair as a married man and get paid to do it. That's all he did. But anyway, I'm glad that the case got dropped. It was never going to go anywhere. Okay. And let's look at some of this right here on the Coming News Network.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We are following breaking news just into CNN. A Georgia prosecutor officially dropped the historic racketeering case against President Trump and others for attempting to overturn the 2020 president.
Hey, Crypto Mountain says Fonnie's dad was fired during her trial. Cash only. He was. He sure was. Yeah, he was like, I know that he is disappointed in his daughter. Goodness gracious.
Election. I want to go right to CNN's Kara Scannell. What are you learning, Kara?
Good morning, Pam. Yeah, this new filing in from the prosecutor who had taken the place to look into the Fulton County investigation of Donald Trump and others has filed a motion with the court saying that they are not going to move forward with the case.
Now, the guy came on after Fonnie Willis was removed from the case. Okay, they had to bring him on to just clean up her mess. That's what happened.
Dropping the charges. What he filed what's known as a nolle pros, and that means that in theory, because if the statute of limitations hasn't run out, a case could be refiled. But he attached to his filing about a 20-page statement explaining his rationales for why he did not think that they should move forward with this case. You'll remember this was the case that began with Donald Trump making the call to the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, urging him to find the votes. And then District Attorney Fonnie Willis brought this historic investigation and filed those racketeering charges against Donald Trump and dozens of others for interfering with the 2020 election. She was then disqualified from the case because of an undisclosed romantic relationship with another prosecutor.
Okay, just kind of like totally glossing over that, the whole Nathan Wade situation. That's what really did it, because she gave him so much money from taxpayer money that was inappropriate. I mean, really, they could prosecute Fonnie for doing that, but I think that they understand how incompetent she is, and they're just kind of letting it go because they know the case can't go anywhere. But if they really wanted to, they could prosecute her for that and get a conviction, because that was at a certain point. I'm not sure what that's called. Is that called embezzlement? I don't know what that is, but it's something. So yeah, shout out to Big Nate, Fonnie. It didn't work. So now all the cases against Trump are out of there. J. Lee Poe says no prosecution equals no evidence. No evidence. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously.
You were here.
Okay. Now they're going to ask, this is about Eric Swalwell. Okay. Eric Swalwell had a bright idea to be able to vote from your phone. So now they're asking him, hey, what about that idea? Can you want to break that down for us, Mr. Swalwell?
Last week, for the first TV sit-down of your campaign, we got into a lot of issues on that. I encourage everybody to check it out on YouTube. But one that got a lot of attention was your plan to vote by phone. Here's that clip.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
vote by phone.
Vote by phone. Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone.
So there was a lot of reaction to that. Let's put up some of the reaction on X. This was from the White House account, President Trump's team. When President Trump talks about the importance of securing our elections because deranged Democrats like creepy Eric Swalwell think it's a good idea to vote by phone. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, voting by phone? No. How ridiculous. Chad Bianco, who is running for sheriff of Riverside County. Vote in person, show your ID, it's simple. Steve Hilton, also running for governor as a Republican. I want us to be able to vote in a system that's honest, in person, with ID, citizens only. How about that? So their argument is basically the safest thing to do is to have paper ballots that can't be hacked, to have everybody show an ID and show up in person so you know who's voting and you watch the whole process through. How is that not the safest thing to do? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? That should be a pretty simple thing to do. I mean, we've done that throughout the entire history of civilization. All over the world, they do that. Why can't we do that? Why are we so advanced in society, but we can't seem to do very simple things like this? Go to a place in person with your ID and vote. I've never in my life not done that. Why would I want to start on my phone? Like, that's not secure at all. That is not secure in the least bit. But let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear his response.
Well, Californians are smarter than those three because Californians know that you do need to show who you are through a biometric to access your finances, to access your healthcare records, to access your taxes.
Eric, you're not. This is like, you know what? This is terrible. Here's the dad at the dinner table and his son who is just not able to get right. Can't get right. The boy is not right. You know, I raised him well. like you go to the table and you get the intervention. It's like, look, son, me and your mom, we tried the best we could. We gave you the best schooling. We gave you the best everything. We tried to put you on the right track. But you're up here talking about voting from your phone. We have failed. That's that look right there. Disappointed dad and bad kid who is 45 years old, but is still like a 21-year-old mentally.
And so, of course, it's going to be secure. And what I am suggesting is, if we are going to lead the way in technology, shouldn't we challenge ourselves to make democracy more accessible? I also want to virtualize, and by the way, 74% is what that polls at as far as approval among Americans. I want to virtualize the DMV too. I don't want Californians to have to go to the DMV. I think we can do that virtually. There's 218 DMV offices. I'd rather take the proceeds of selling those offices and invest it in our kids.
So you're not worried about voter fraud because that's the charge here.
I think it's
open for fraud and other people could hack the system.
It's the opposite. It also provides, and this is being done right now. I'm not the first person to suggest this. It's happened in West Virginia. It's happened in mayor's races across the country. And there is a auditable backup trail to show if there was any compromise. And if people want to vote in person, they can still do that. Also, Alex, I'm going to fine every county for every minute that a voter has to wait in line beyond 30 minutes because your pizza should not come faster than you casting your ballot.
All right, there we go. So that's Eric Swalwell talking about, hey, let's vote from our phones. What's your opinion about that? Would you want to vote from your phone? Is that safe and secure? Now, me, look, I need to go to a place, show my ID, and let them know that I'm here. I want to see a video camera recording me so you know I'm here. I'm going to show the lady at the front my ID, and then we going to move about it that way. Vote from your phone can be easily hacked, easily manipulated. Hey, somebody said it. That might have been the idea from Fang Fang right there. From Yum Yum. Him and Yum Yum were in the bed, pillow talking, and she said, hey, you know what you could do? You could vote from the phone. And you know what, Fang Fang, that'd be a great idea. And then he says this. Anyway. So yeah, shout out to Fang Fang's husband or her, whatever, Eric Swalwell. Anyway, I'm going to show you a guy who's talking about the whole issue with the food stamp program being renovated, being changed, being improved with the new rules. Hey, if you are able-bodied, of age, you got to be working, or else you're not going to get these food stamps. And when we say work, it ain't much. Volunteer 80 hours a month, 20 hours a week, work 80 hours a month, 20 hours a week, or be in school. Not all of those things, just one of those things. Be in school, work 20 hours a week, or volunteer 20 hours a week. Why is that hard to do? Let's hear from this guy right here talking about, you know what? I'm 38 years old, able-bodied, but I just can't do it. That's some bull.
Nelson Scott is on the verge of losing access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. He is 38, not disabled, doesn't have any kids, doesn't go to school, and doesn't have a job. Those are just some of the reasons he is no longer eligible for SNAP benefits.
Let's pause. You're 38 years old, no kids, no job, and you want to get SNAP benefits? Why? You're able-bodied, you look to be in perfect health. So what's going on, bro? Do you smoke crack or something? Do you need rehab? Like, what's happening? And if you have no job, volunteer, go pick up trash, do something. I couldn't be, he's like my age. There's no way I could just do nothing all day. That's my question. It's like, what are you doing all day? How do you actually get through your life? No job, no kids, no nothing, just on the government benefits, doing what exactly? I've worked since I've been 16 years old without stopping. I think I might have had one stop when I was like 21. I got fired from my job because I was fighting, but I wasn't really fighting. It's like a little pushing and shoving that the customer saw. But after I got fired, I was still doing whatever I could to make money. I'm putting out my resume. I'm applying to jobs every day. I'm going outside of my house. I was the kind of guy, I'd be online doing applications, but I would go out. Like, I would go to a restaurant. I'll never forget. It was one restaurant I went to called Why Not Pizza. They were building it brand new. I went in there as they were building it saying, hey, are y'all hiring when you open? Like, I was that kind of guy. And within, I would say 3 months, I was right back on my feet. And I've been going ever since. And I was at 21 years old. I'm now 41. It's been 20 years. I've been consistently being able to make money for myself. If all of a sudden YouTube.com went offline, I would go outside and get some money right now. Right now, today, I would do it. Anyway, I'm getting triggered. Let me let him finish.
How much did SNAP help you?
It helped me a lot. I get $292 a month.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture crackdown is led by President Trump, who signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law in July. The government shutdown stalled the November 1st deadline for implementation. However, these changes are still coming up.
We help.
Signe Anderson is a senior director of nutrition advocacy with the Tennessee Justice Center.
Because of rules like this, we can see individuals that are going to be forced to skip meals.
She points out senior citizens and children between the age of 15 and 18 will be most impacted.
If you're 15 to 18, you're not a child. If you're 15 to 18, you're not a child. When I was 16, I was working. 17, 18, I was working. And I wanted to work at 14. At 14 years old, I was fully able to work. At 14 years old, I'm 6 foot tall and 225 pounds in 9th grade. I'm fully able to work. Okay. Some are going to say, oh, you were 14, ABL, your brain wouldn't develop. Well, what kind of brain power is needed to lift up boxes and put them in the truck? What kind of brain power do I need for real? All I need is a strong back and I'm all right.
Rick Williams is a conservative political analyst.
A 15 or 16-year-old can take care of themselves at home while you go work. There's no reason you can't be working. There are plenty of jobs out there.
Scott tells me as a convicted felon, getting a job
Nah. No, we're not going to do that. No. Actually, you know what? Here's the funny part. That whole, I'm a felon, I can't get no jobs. That's the weakest, softest excuse ever because a lot of my friends than been to prison. I ain't talking about they go because, okay, child support or they got a traffic violence. I'm talking about, I know guys that are violent felons. Craig Long, if you're watching Craig, shout out to you. Y'all go follow him on the YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere. TikTok, Craig Long. Craig did 6 years in the penitentiary for a violent offense. Not only is he working, married, got kids, he also has his right to vote and his gun rights back. Don't tell me nothing about being a felon. Oh, ABL, that's just an anecdote. That's just one guy. I know so many guys who are convicted felons working. I know guys that do the tow truck driving, guys that drive actual 18-wheelers. I know guys, merchant marines. I know guys that have construction businesses, landscaping businesses, tree removal services. I know guys that do so many things who have been to the penitentiary. I saw a video where a woman got a CDL in prison. A woman, a black woman, got her CDL in prison. So don't tell me nothing about I'm a felon and I can't get no work. Please stop.
Easy. I will get one if y'all give me one. Y'all be felony friendly and hire us.
The Tennessee
Nah, bro. You just don't want to work, bro. You just lazy. That's all that is. Okay. And look, I'm sure you could go volunteer somewhere. Hey, go back to the penitentiary and volunteer there. They'll have you. I'm not trying to hear this I'm a felon talk. Do you think they're going to scoff at you? Or are they going to deny you the ability to go out there and pick up cans of soda on the ground because you were a felon? Bro, come on, man. Let's stop. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okie dokie. Where we going to go? We got a little bit of time left. A little bit of time left. Did you guys see this? The world's strongest woman competition. World's strongest woman out there in Arlington, Texas, I believe, in the Dallas area. So what you have here is a real woman right there on the left. And on the right, the winner is a man, a biological man. So as you could tell, the woman who probably been working for a long time, many years to be the best at what she does, loses to a man. Now listen, if you're a woman and another woman beats you fair and square, it is what it is. But if you're a woman competing in a women's competition and a man who identifies as female beats you, you've been cheated. Now, luckily, they put out a statement and said, we did not know this was a man on the podium. I don't know how you can't tell. Look at the size of this dude's back. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, they said they didn't know. So what's happened is they have rescinded the person's victory and they allowed the woman right here, the black woman, to be the victor, to be the actual winner. Now, I think they need to, I don't know what you can't even really fix it because you reversed it, but this moment happened. You can't just undo that moment. But anyway, let's hear from the individual. So the guy. So matter of fact, I ain't gonna show him because I don't want nobody to go to his page and harass him, because some of y'all do that. Not you guys who are watching, but some people, they watch some of my videos and then they make it a thing to go find the person and then harass them. But don't do that, because what's going to happen is they're going to say that I did it. They're going to say that I sent y'all to do that. And then I get in trouble and not you. But anyway, there's the podium picture right there. Okay, you can see one person, yay, I lost to a man, and the actual person who should have won is none too pleased. The third place person is, I guess, cool with it. Second place, nah, I won. Not very happy at all with her place. But again, they did come out and say that they made a mistake. They didn't know that he was a he. They thought he was a she. So they went ahead and reversed it. And they let the young lady who won When? Now, this right here, can I say something without being defensive? Well, you know what? I'm going to say it anyway. I don't think women should be in leadership position in church, especially since it's expressly forbidden in your Christianity. In your book, it says this shouldn't be happening. A female pastor, bishop, like I never thought that I would see a woman wearing a collar. It's like, what kind of sense does that make? So you're wearing a collar and there's a Planned Parenthood sash. What it be doing? How is any of this Christianity? And I support the Christians. Shout out to the Christians. But y'all got to tighten stuff like this up. This should not be permitted at all. All of this video already before we watch it is not permitted. But what she says is even worse.
Abortion, make them stop. Talking about abortion makes many people profoundly uncomfortable. At dinner parties, in polite conversation with friends and family, and too often in church. Despite many people's profound discomfort with abortion, images, messaging, and moralizing about abortion are ubiquitous in our culture. Talking fetuses, aggressive bumper stickers, and saccharine billboards quoting scripture and invoking God's wrath pave our streets and plaster our highways. Politicians stump on the issue, and state legislatures spent the last 50 years working to control, regulate, and ultimately overturn Roe v. Wade. Their success was our failure. In the abortion imaginary, all people of faith are against abortion. This imaginary has colonized our minds, traumatizing many people with its toxic theology, and shaping a culture of stigma and shame that has silenced millions of women and people who have had abortions.
First of all, that you got the LGBT language, women and those who have had abortions. Well, I thought you could only be pregnant if you're a woman. So if there was an abortion, that means a woman had it. I don't care how you identify. If you're a female, you're female. You're a woman, you're a woman. It's really just that simple. But anyway, this shouldn't be going on. And you know what? I have a call, a challenge to the men. We have to step up and stop allowing this to take place. We got to step up and be the leaders of these institutions, of church, of the country, of everywhere. We got to be the ones to do it. And I think a good example of men having to lead is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She shouldn't have been anywhere near the Congress. She shouldn't have been anywhere near Congress. She was not fit to lead. What's happening right here is kind of a microcosm of a greater issue in society. It's women leading where they shouldn't be leading. And shout out to the women. I love women. Love them. But I think there's some things, as I said many times before, there's some things that women do better than men. And there's some things that men do better than women. And it's okay. It's totally fine. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm not trying to do anything other than just tell the truth. Now, before I continue, can I read something right quick from Marjorie? Because I'm just on right here talking about that. It's a good point, good time to bring it up. So there was a response to something that someone said to Mike Cernovich. Okay. So here's what she said. Oh, I haven't. Okay, hold on. Before I read it, all Cernovich said was, you need to serve out your full term. And House reps serve 2-year terms. All she has is 1 year left. Rather than quitting after a year, serve your last year. Her response was, oh, I have suffered enough for you while you post all day behind the screen. Do I have to stay until I'm assassinated like our friend Charlie Kirk? Would that be good enough for you then? S posting on the internet all day isn't fighting. Get off your ASS and run for Congress. I fought harder than anyone in the real arena, not social media. Put down your little pebbles and put your money where your mouth is. That's her response to that. Now, some like this response But it's like, okay, Marjorie, you quote unquote fought for 5 years and you quit. Halfway through your 2-year term, you quit. So if you're fighting for Americans, what part of fighting says you quit? That's the first thing. The second thing, what have you brought forward that's actually been able to help? Your vote is appreciated, but do you have legislation, any laws you drafted, anything like that? Okay. This response is a little bit too unhinged. It's too unhinged, and it shows someone who is not really ready to lead, in my humble opinion. Okay, you're just not really ready. All right. And then there's more. She's not even done. She responded to her same post again. See, this right here, this is the crazy lady. Typical of Republican men. So now we're misandrous, right? Now you're being misandrous against the men. Typical of Republican men telling a woman to shut up and get back in the kitchen if it's something to eat. Did he take it back in the kitchen or finish your term in office that you signed up for, that you ran for, that you got elected for? F you in the sweetest, most southern drawl I can enunciate. I've been telling all you quote unquote men that our kitchen pantry is empty with spider webs, house has been ransacked, and the window doors have been broken and busted, and the greedy rich bees have twisted your minds into a sick state that you all continue to in the two-party toxic political system that acts like college football playoffs yet is burying you and your children and their children and their children in the pine box in a shallow grave. Get out for ASS and fix your own dang food and clean up the kitchen when you're done. Marjorie, all of that for one comment. This right here wasn't enough. And you know what it reminds me of? Have you ever had a crazy girlfriend? Has it ever happened to you guys? Is it just me? Oh, okay. Well, I've had crazy girlfriends, and they're going to do stuff like that. They're going to send you a wall of text. You send them one thing, and they get set off. So when I read that, that's all I hear. That's all I hear when I read that. I don't want that to be having their finger on the button in the White House. I don't. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's simple. Am I tripping? Am I being a misogynist, or do I make sense? Do I make sense? All of that. Like, what are we talking about? And don't name no names. I see you in the comment. Don't name no names. Don't do that. You can't do that. If I'm not going to do it, you can't do it either. So don't even do that. But anyway, yeah. So, hey, I wonder what her husband was going through when they got divorced. Was it something like that? Goodness gracious, Marjorie. Wow. But yeah, part of that I'll agree with. Men need to just step up and not even allow people like that to get anywhere close to the office. All of the other stuff, it was just excessive. But what I do agree with is she shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the office, nor should anyone who thinks or speaks like that. All right. Charlie Brown's mom, exactly. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. I got like no more time, but I want to play this from Ben Shapiro. Oh, ABL, Ben Shapiro, I knew you were a Jewish shill. The Jewish shill people are the funniest people in the world. The Jewish shill people, y'all got to stop. I don't even care nothing about that. That's y'all beef. I'm not even religious. The white ethno conflict I got with the Jays, that's between you and the Jays. And for real, the Jays are some of the best people I've ever met. The Jays, I know they're good people. They look out for you. They're good. If you don't like them, that's a you problem. Now, Ben Shapiro, and listen to him. I know some of y'all are afraid of the Jays. You see a yarmulke and want to run for the hills. Hear him out. It's just 1 minute. Hear him out.
If you listen to Nick Fuentes, you are likely to be a loser. He is a loser. He is a basement-dwelling, ridiculous loser who spends his days ranting on the internet to a bunch of other basement dwellers. Don't be one of those people. You don't have to be that. You can actually go get a job. You can get married. You can have a girlfriend. You can actually, make something of yourself in this world. And it was really funny. There's one point where actually Tucker made some sort of disparaging reference to Fuentes about this when he was doing an interview with another delightful person, Candace Owens. And in the middle of this interview, he sort of made a disparaging remark about Fuentes. And Fuentes went right back at him and said, you're insulting the basement dwellers, Tucker. Those are your people. Like you said they were your people, but actually you scorn them. Here's the thing. Nobody should scorn people who are unsuccessful in life when they don't know better. But it's our job to teach them to know better. Right? It is not good. If you listen to Nick Fuentes, there is no way your life gets markedly better. In fact, it gets markedly worse. If you listen to the life prescriptions of Andrew Tate, your life will get worse, not better. You will end up alone, joyless, with no purpose in life. You will end up not being very wealthy. You'll have made him wealthy by giving him your money, by being grifted upon. And if we don't make that aggressive case on behalf of our own values, and yes, against those values, and not in a shy way, then we deserve to lose.
So what do y'all think? Was he on point? Was he off point? I thought he was right on point right there. And I've been saying that. I said that a guy like Nick and others represent the loser white male, especially the basement dweller. And he was saying the same exact thing right there. And if you are listening to him, if you believe what he's saying, you are going to be right where he is. If you are allowing Nick Fuentes and guys like that to be an influencer and influence you, they will influence you to be where they at, which is not in a really good state. Simple as that. So it is what it is. But I know some of y'all not going to want to hear it. Oh, Israel, ABL, Israel. What about Israel? If I ask you two questions, you fold out sheet of paper. But anyway, all right, we got limited time, so I'm going to show some of these here. Shout out to you guys again for being here. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. If you don't like Ben Shapiro, I understand, but let's just put that aside for a moment. Did he lie right there? Is he a liar? If he's a liar, and it's fine. But did he lie right there? That's the question I got to ask you. Oh, how much? Oh, yeah, they go with that. How much, ABL, did you get paid $7K by Benjamin Netanyahu? No. Okay. The people who hate the Jays talk about them all day long because they envy them. I don't have an envious heart I don't have an envious bone in my body. I don't have an envious heart. So I don't talk about others doing better than me in a negative way. That ain't, what I do. But anyway. Let's check this out. What's this about again?
Just to rent it.
Oh, yeah. This guy's mad at those who have homes they rent out because the rent price is too high. Sounds pretty familiar, but let's go ahead and check it out.
This should piss off some people, but here's my thought. Since 2008, if you're still buying homes, or you're some just regular Joe Schmo buying a second home just to rent it out, I think you're a fucking scumbag. Yeah. 2-3 times your mortgage, you're a fucking scumbag. Yeah. That's where we're at in this society. You're part of the fucking problem.
So should I not invest into real estate, which is one of the best ways we can become wealthy as Americans? Why would I not do that? I have the ability to become wealthy through real estate. You could be a regular Joe, regular guy, and become rich like that. So why wouldn't I do that? Because you can't afford the mortgage? Why do you think you're entitled to a house like that? Let's talk about this for a minute. People are saying, young folks now, they're talking about, I can't buy a house. It's the Jews' fault. I can't buy a house. It's Trump's fault. I can't buy a house. It's the investors' fault. No, just maybe it's your fault. Maybe it's your fault. Because some of us are able to buy houses and you can't. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe you're not doing what's needed to be able to buy a home. Maybe you don't live in a place where buying a home is really affordable and you might need to move around. Maybe, just maybe, you start off in an apartment. Maybe you in the hood for a while, just like I did. Because let's talk about my story. We start off West Virginia. My dad has a single wide trailer in a small town, less than 1,000 people. We come to Virginia. She be coming around the mountain. We came down the mountain and went right to the hood, Newport News. Trailer park, boom, popped it right there. My dad works, mom's at home. Did we start off with some beautiful mansion, some great neighborhood? Nah. Country living and then the hood. And I lived in the hood up until I got to be 14 years old. And different places, moving around here and there. And when I got to be 14, it was like a lower middle class type spot. And a townhouse. Still not this big, beautiful, it's not for everybody. I'm just now at 41 having a house that's like that. And I didn't have this until I turned 37. So why do you think you get to be 21 years old, straight out of college with no real skills and buy a house? Make that make sense, bro. Maybe you start off small and then grow. You can't always start off from the top. Just because you can't afford a top right now does not mean it's somebody else's fault. Maybe, just maybe, it's your fault. Just maybe. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you can't afford a house. It's not a bad thing. But don't blame someone for that. Just say, I'm trying to build up to that point. Or just say, it's not for me. Because it ain't for everybody. Because some of these houses I see people buy, they turn ramshackle. They're not getting maintained. People can't afford it. All that good stuff. It's not for everybody. And if you are not able to afford it, do a little bit of soul searching and see why that's the case. Is something dealing with you, or is someone else to blame? Anyway,
dear,
let's watch this right here. Hold on, what's this about? Oh, somebody mad about ICE being called. Listen, y'all know me, man. I'm gonna call ICE. Hey, I got ICE on speed dial. Speed dial. Yo, ICE, I'm at the McDonald's on XYZ Boulevard, and I'm hearing a lot of walk bars and all this, that, and the third, and I'm smelling something. I don't know what's going on. Come through and investigate, shall we? Anyway, let's watch this.
Dear Donald Trump, can we please make it so that American citizens can post bail for undocumented immigrants? Hear me out. If my neighbor, let's call him George, I know he's undocumented. He knows he's undocumented. Could I please put up a bail, $10,000, and that bail would say in 5 years, if George has not committed any crimes, if George has, stayed gainfully employed, if George has done X, Y, and Z that the government lays out, I get my $10,000 back, and he gets his citizenship. Can I sponsor him? Can I post whatever you want to call it, a bond? The government could invest my $10,000 over the next 5 years while we wait for George to prove that he's, cool. And I can keep my friend here or my neighbor here or whoever it is. And the government can invest my money. George gets his citizenship and everybody wins. Why would this be a problem? Can somebody poke holes in this for me? I'm sure I'm missing something, but I think it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool if we could, as American citizens, say, I want to sponsor this person. I want to vouch for this person. I know this dude. I know he's a good guy. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Sorry, I'm making grilled cheese for my kid.
Okay, yeah, the grill. I don't want that grilled cheese sandwich. But anyway, so you say George, some random person, my friend, or somebody, my neighbor. So is it your friend, Jorge from Honduras? Okay, so you want Jorge from Honduras to stay in the USA because y'all got that's your boyfriend, right? And you like Jorge and you mad that he got picked up by the feds. Okay, I get it, but check it out. The process you're talking about kind of already exists and it gets abused. When they get caught at the border and they're released to the interior of the country and they're given the court date, and the court date is like 5 years from the date they get caught at the border. What they often do is not show up to the court date. And sometimes while they're in the country with a pending court date, they're committing crimes. They're doing all types of things they shouldn't be doing because guess what? They're in the country illegally. So how about we don't do that? And if you're here illegally, I'm calling ICE. I'm calling them. I'm going to see y'all holding hands, eating ice cream. And I'm hearing too much of a random language and look suspicious, I'm calling. If you're mad, oh well, that's your fault for dating an illegal alien. You should have known more about Jorge before you start dating him. How about that? But anyway, shout out to her. I'm not saying she dated him for real. I can't say that for 100% certain, but it sounds a tad bit personal. I'm just saying. But yeah, anyway, shout out to her. Hey, Jorge got her sprung. Jorge got her all the way twisted. All right. Yeah, he doing a whole lot. But anyway, do I have... Oh, I wanted to show this. So did y'all see where they took away the professional status from some degrees, including nursing? Some were offended talking about, oh, you're trying to take this away from us and you're messing my degree up. Hold on. I got a little bit of time. I'm going over time, but y'all bear with me. So this is going to be on CBS. The article states, Trump administration plan to exclude nursing from professional degrees sparks outcry. Okay, so that's the plan right there. Some people are mad about this. How could you do this? I'm a professional, all this, that, and the third. But you have to understand why things are done before you start talking about it being a bad thing. Now, what I'm going to do is play someone's reaction, and then I'm going to play what's really happening with the actual detailed video on the subject, okay? So here's a reaction, and you can already kind of tell where it's going to go, all right? I'm playing this to give you the general reaction of people who saw that headline and then had gotten triggered. All righty, let's check it out.
I want you guys to remember that every loss...
Wow. I'm sorry for that. Hey, RIP to the headphone users. Good grief. My eardrums are done.
I want you guys to remember that every loss that the left is taking, that we are taking, we can fix it. They're trying to pick us apart little by little by taking these professional titles away and by taking our rights away little by little, but we can fix it. We're going to come back and we're going to fix it because MAGA is falling apart. They are falling apart. They're just falling the fuck apart. And
all right, so you get the idea. She's saying we're trying to pick them apart because taking the professional titles away and not letting them be all this, that, and the third. So she appears to be pretty triggered. And I have one piece of advice for you, young lady. You can back away from the camera. You don't gotta be right here in the camera like that. You know what I mean? You don't gotta be that close. It's not necessary. I can see you from right here. But anyway, let's get to the reality of what's happening with professional degrees and why that status is taken away from nursing specifically. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pop this up right here. This is going to be Naisha Chu. She is a married homeschooler. All right, shout out to her. She has a page. Go check her out. Send her some love. Give her some thumbs up. Give her a follow. All right, Naisha Chu, CHU. Check her out.
Uh-oh. The Department of Education doesn't think that nurses are professionals. That sounds dramatic. It also sounds so insulting, but it's just not true. And let me explain. Nurses are professionals. CRNAs, professionals. NPs, DNPs, all professionals. None of that is changing, not even a little bit. What is changing is the thing that universities hope that you wouldn't notice. The federal government is finally turning off the unlimited money hose. For years, graduate programs could charge any tuition they wanted because the government would always let students borrow enough to cover it. No cap, no limit, no financial pressure, and schools took full advantage. $80,000 programs became $150,000, $120,000 programs became $200,000 programs. Tuition rose faster than inflation, wages, and the cost of actually providing that education. Not because it cost that much to train, but because they knew that you could borrow that much money. Unlimited loans equal unlimited tuition hikes. Now, here's the part that you need to hear. When you remove unlimited borrowing, the government says no more blank checks, there's a limit now. Suddenly the schools have a big problem because without unlimited federal loans, students can't cover sky-high tuition. Enrollment drops, revenue drops, and institutions are forced to face the reality that they've been avoiding. Their prices are unsustainable. And that is why caps exist, not to downgrade nursing, not to insult anyone's profession, but to finally put pressure on institutions that have had zero incentive to lower tuition as long as students can borrow unlimited debt. Let me say this even louder for you. Without unlimited borrowing, schools must address affordability. Not maybe, not if they feel like it, they have to. Because students can't borrow $150,000 anymore, so schools can't charge $150,000 anymore, period. So stop getting mad at the wrong thing. Don't be mad that the government is limiting catastrophic debt. Be mad that institutions built their business models on students drowning in it. Be mad that when faced with the choice between affordable education and bloated tuition, they chose profit every single time. This new system is not punishing nurses. It's finally holding schools accountable. And if anything, it's the first real chance that we've had in years to push tuition back into reality. So let's focus. Let's aim our outrage in the right direction. Let's demand that institutions charge what education is actually worth, not whatever students can borrow. Because nurses are professionals. They always have been, and they always will be. The cost of becoming one, though, should not require a lifetime of debt. I hope that helps.
There we go. So that was very well said. Again, that was Naisha Chu, CHU, married, homeschool mom. So shout out to her. She is right on point. And I've been saying that for a long time. The reason why tuition is so high is because the government can guarantee that the school is going to get paid. The government pays the school, and they writing them blank. They pretty much say, okay, here go a blank check, put whatever you want on it. Now the loser is you because that debt is on your back. The government will guarantee it, but you got to pay the government. And if you don't pay student loan debt, it can be taken from you. Unlike other debt, credit card debt, stuff like that, they can't take cash out of your bank. But with student loans, taxes, oh yeah, they could take your cash, your property. You got a house, okay, we're going to take that for your taxes. They could do that because it's a government debt. Child support, same way, because it's also a government debt. Different story, I digress. These debts, they have powers to take it from you and punish you in ways that regular debt does not have. So lowering the ability, reducing the ability of schools to charge whatever they want is going to help you. You shouldn't be worried about what your degree is called. Worry about what you're going to be able to get with that degree, how it's going to work for you, and how much it's going to cost you in debt on your back. So yeah, shout out to her. Alrighty, but let's get to some super chats, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And let's go to first super chats. That gets to Apple Bakar All Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, what's word on the street about midterms 2026? I don't know. I'm not really hearing a lot. Some say the Republicans are going to lose, but I don't know. I'm not hearing a lot about midterms, to be totally honest with you. Not right now. That gets to Apu again, who says, free Tina Peters unjustly jailed for exposing fraud. That gets to Twisted Clown 1, who says, acquired taste like tone tacos. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, I rebuke ABL shitterlings talk, LOL. Thank you to Benjamin DC for becoming a supporter. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says, Auntie with the cankles count. Thank you to Dolores, who said, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says, Wheelchair Guys Interpreter could say that name. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says, ABL Naughty Hotline. We ain't going to do that. Thank you to Taylor Langley, who says, I saw a statistic the other day that said 10% of the U.S. population in 1970 was obese. Now it's nearly 40% of the population. Like I was saying earlier, it's just the free food that we have. You can't be obese without the food. Only in America are our poor people fat like that. It doesn't happen anywhere else. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, ABL, if you wanted to stop the dress codes in the airport, pajamas, all that kind of good stuff, you got to get rid of Spirit and maybe even Frontier Airlines. Great show. I got to get back to work. Thank you, TJ Jizzle. I appreciate you. Thank you. And Frontier, yeah, I've been on Frontier. Spirit, too. Spirit is not as bad as Frontier. Frontier is cool. Like the airplane is cool. The attendants and the pilots, all of that is cool. The issue is the people because of the price. Now, I try to If I fly Frontier, I try to get the little add-ons so I can just reduce my exposure to that stuff. I want to sit in the front and be a little bougie. I could almost make my Frontier flight like a Delta flight. But sometimes you're going to get people that go on the plane and do crazy stuff like that dude I talked about before who was high on drugs and OD'd and had to get Narcan on the plane. Luckily, the dude didn't get high in the air. We were still at the terminal before we took off. I'll fight everybody in here because, you know, you get Narcan when somebody's high and they like all that good stuff from the opiate and they hit them with the Narcan, they're going to pop up angry because they were high and you ruined it. I fight everybody in here. Man, everybody got time for that. That's that Frontier Airlines stuff, unfortunately, because of the price point. That gets to Mauricio, who says the problem is they don't want to offend others who are willing to blow up your house. That gets Twisted Clown, who says always Orange Man bad. Twisted Clown also says Trump taking all the slings and arrows. Thank you to Lothair, who says ABL, he said unlawful. Do not take that out of context. The left does that. Don't do that. Don't be a hypocrite. It doesn't matter who's in power. If martial law happens, you would complain. I don't know what you're talking about. What are we saying exactly? What was that about? ICE? What are we talking about? You talking about the video they put out? You got to understand. You can't be that naive, though. You got to understand what they're doing. They're doing that to encourage people to try and be the judge on the spot and determine what they think is going to be unlawful. So the objective is to get one moron who buys into what they're saying to think that they understand what is a lawful order and what is not. And that will be when the sedition happens. This is just kind of common sense, bro. Come on now. Use your brain. Thank you to Taylor, who says, we have the technology to do things over the phone securely. The problem isn't the hacking. It's securing data not yet clearly defined in current laws. Twisted Clown says CDLs are free in California. I suppose so, right? Hey, you could do whatever you want. That dude talking about you can't get a job. Hey, go to California and get a CDL on GP. Hey, just show up and have a pulse. And they'll give you the CDL. You don't got to speak no English or nothing. You get a CDL and you get it like Oprah. You get a CDL. You get a CDL. Simple. But not no more, though. They shut that off ever since we got back in office and the adults are back in town. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, Jay's thing is light skin versus dark skin for white people. And Candace, yeah, bing, bing, bing. You got it. Right on. Mauricio says, buy gold. Right on. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says the problem, he should realize that it's our fiat currency system in the Fed. Thank you to Twisted Clown, who says George was putting in work for the green card. He was. Thank you to F-Frame Ranger, who says release the Kraken with a shot of order of Rudy. All righty, there we go. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Let me turn everything on and make sure we are good to go. And let's go ahead and get rocking. There we go. All right. We should be on now. 706-406-3287. Oh, I know it without a reason. Yeah. He on the marijuanas and he knows esoteric. 859 in online. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL, how's it going? It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend here. It's sad that it's sad these days when, you know, people in the National Guard can't just, you know, do their job without getting harmed with extremists. And that it's now coming over here. It's sad. And I was the other day getting my car fixed. Today getting my car fixed, and I heard that on the news when I was in the foyer waiting for my car to get fixed, and I heard that, and I was like, oh, my God. My uncle was part of the National Guard, and I do worry about him.
Right. Yeah, man.
That's really.
Go ahead.
And by the way, did they any updates if they're still alive or not?
As far as I know, nothing has changed from what I was just talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's true. I get kind of worried about it. I have relatives who were in the military, and I heard about that, and I'm like, oh, no. I had to call up all my relatives, making sure they're okay, because I have a few cousins in the National Guard, and I was, like, making sure stuff in case it happens and stuff like that. But thank you much for taking my phone call, ABL. Much appreciated. And I definitely disagree because it doesn't matter who's in power, it doesn't matter who's in office. People can do unlawful things. And I've been in situations before that I was told to do something in my job that would get me fired anyway if I did do it. So it depends on the circumstances, depends on the circumstances, but also you got to think about it. Yeah, the left is delusional. Some people can't determine anything right, but if it's somebody from the military, I would think they would know their job more than most people. Just saying. Agree to disagree. I'll talk to you later, ABL. Thank you very much for taking my phone call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Much love to you. No problem.
Thanks for the call. All right. He didn't want to confront me live on the air about that. But let me just say let me just respond to it since he didn't want to be on air as I was talking. The issue is that they were trying to, what I said from the beginning is correct. And everybody knows it. They're trying to appeal to those who may be weak-minded and think that they know something that others don't know, because they don't like the whole deportation thing. So they're going to try to find a way and say, oh, this ain't right, and then they're going to defy it. Or someone might just say in their mind, you know what, I don't like this, I'm going to defy an order. You can't do that. Now, if you don't want to do the job, you're free to go. You want to get discharged? Okay, let's do that. But don't be on the job and then just not do what you're supposed to be doing. That's not how that works. That's not what we're going to do. You can't just say, I'm going to do whatever I want. Nah, you can leave, but that's it. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Well, first of all, I'd like to address the trolls real quick, if I might do that, sir.
All right, go ahead.
All right, first of all, I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol since 1988. But it's not easy getting on here in front of America and try and think of all your thoughts when you're so excited that you get to talk to Anthony, you know. So shout out to all the callers and to all the trolls. If you don't like it, call in. Do better than me. But here's what I got to say. Having been in the military, 3 years on the Iron Curtain, almost directly causing World War III with Able Archer, I can honestly say that from the moment I joined the Army, I was fully instructed on what a legal and illegal order is. Like the My Lai massacre, that was totally illegal. But what they don't tell you about that, and every single Vietnam veteran, because those were the men that trained me, will tell you that that lieutenant was ordered to massacre that village because it was a hot spot of NBA, and then when it turned sour because of the media involvement, then they all turned on him and threw him under the bus. But every single soldier from recruit and basic training learns what an illegal order is, and I do not have to follow illegal orders. What they were doing as senators and congressmen and retired military was a psychological warfare operation of setting the prelude, like when they scream Nazi, 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 fascist. That gives them permission to attack you. Words of violence. That gives them a right to attack you with violence. It's a psychological operation. And I say that when they call us Nazi, we start calling them slavers, because the party of slavery is the Democrats. They're not going to hide from that. Low wage income, slavery. They want kids to be debt slaves to education instead of a mortgage, or the kid can make wealth. Donald Trump's trying to release the economic power of the Jeffersonian economic system. If you learned American economics in school, which kids are not taught ever since Common Core came out, they're not taught proper mathematics. They changed the way formulas are done. They changed the way history is written. The first legally recognized slave owner in North America in the British colony of Virginia was Anthony Johnson, a black man from Angola who was captured by a rival African tribe and sold to Muslim slavers, who was bought by an English businessman under a 7-year indentured contract. In 1659, he was a wealthy landowner with 4 indentured servants, 3 of them white, 1 of them black, John Cesar. He took John Cesar to the British court of England in the colony of Virginia for a violation of his indentured servitude contract, making John Cesar the first slave for life on the North American continent. America was not founded on slavery. It was dumped on us by a man from Africa. That's all I got to say, Anthony. And as far as the border, I'm required to have a passport. I've been to China 4 times, Philippines 8 times, all over Europe in the Army. Been to Russia for 6 months working on the Russian flight test for the MC-21-300. And no, I am not drunk. Anthony, you got a great show. I just want to say God bless, good night. And Ivan, read some American history books. God bless America. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for the call, man. Most certainly appreciate you. All right. some funny calls tonight. And I saw my man respond in the yo, you can't be in the comments talking about what I said when you got on the phone call earlier and you didn't even respond. You rushing off the phone. Bro, come on, man. Don't do that. You were on the phone. You could have had a conversation right there, but you didn't want to have it. You rushed off the phone, and now you're in the comment section. Come on, bro. Let's not do that, man. Get some courage next time to express yourself and let's have a conversation. 718, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, speaking of Jimmy, how you doing, Anthony?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Yo, so a lot of people, they go along to get along, and like you're talking about the shoe haters. You know, it's like people don't understand what America First is. When we didn't have an income tax, you know what we depended on? Tariffs. We depended on other countries doing business with America. These people that say they're America First or centrist, we want to burn the MAGA hat and pick up the America First hat. They ain't America First. They're America only. There's a selfish part of America. These are selfish Americans. You want costs down. You want affordability. How are we going to achieve that? We have to make good trade deals. We have to incentivize companies to come back to America. These fake centrists, these fake America First is what Trump is doing. He's going out making deals for the betterment of this country. You know what I'm saying? National security, foreign policy. If you go look up the income tax when we didn't have it, we relied on foreign trade. We relied on trade, tariffs. That's why we didn't have income tax. But if y'all want to get to not having income tax, y'all want true affordability, he has to be tough on these other countries because that affects our prices that we pay in the stores. And let me ask you a question, Anthony. Check this out. All these America First stuff, right? I guarantee you, most of the products they buy ain't American, but they claim America First, right?
That's right.
So I'll land right there, my brother.
I thank you for the call, man. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to you, bro. Great call. Fantastic call. All right. And that number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Fantastic call. Great calls all the way around. I'm with it. And shout out to you guys in the comments. Shout out to you guys for watching the show tonight. You guys, of course, are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. The phone call is always in the description and also in the ticker right below me. All right. Elite DB21 says America First is America only. We've been taking care of the whole world for too long to the point of inviting them and paying their bills. It's time for America only. LaFair, please stop. Don't even do that, man. Like, don't. You were rushing off the phone, and I just let you get off. You were trying to not let me talk, and then you rushed off the phone, so I allowed you to get off. If you wanted to have the conversation, we could have talked about it when you were here. You were trying to preemptively. You were like, agree, disagree. Okay, thank you for the... Don't do that, bro. Come on. Hey, matter of fact, LaFair, call in next time. We can have a conversation about it. But for now, you're done. Next time, call in. We could talk. It's all good, bro. And let's have the discussion rather than be responding to the comment section. Call in next time. We can have the conversation, all right? But hopefully you guys are having a great Thanksgiving or a Thanksgiving Eve. And I hope you guys have some good food. And y'all know that I am the anti-big back person on the internet. I'm one of the biggest anti-big backs. Me and Dr. Now, we neck and neck. But tomorrow, I'll give you a pass. Be a big back, it's okay. 803, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is your friend Robert from South Carolina. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, I just wanted to call and let you know I'm going to be down in the ATL, I believe, sometime in March for a weekend as a chaperone. My daughter is a high school teacher, so they're taking the kids down there to all the sites and whatnot in Atlanta. But I wish you would include, I love watching your show on Saturday night, but maybe you could have like a 5-minute block of all the good news. Everybody been watching TV this week of people lining up, getting their free turkeys, boxes of food, free meals from the churches, towns, and whatever. And also, just wanted to pray for the two soldiers that got shot. It's awful. I worked in D.C. for a year. My daughter went there last summer for 2 weeks and rode that metro and stayed, a couple blocks from the White House. And she did that all by herself. So proud that she learned how to navigate the streets of D.C., but at the same time, it was kind of scary as a parent. But anyway, I want to get off the phone and listen to your comments.
Thank you for the call. I can't get my little extra. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try to make the news as lighthearted as possible, but I'm not the kind of guy that's going to report on cats, being rescued from trees. But in the beginning, mother-in-law, we're talking about food and Thanksgiving and more light stuff. The chitlins talk, that was good. That was lighthearted. That was positive. The candy yams and I gave you guys the license to be a big back. I think that's great news because normally I'm Dr. Now. You can't eat that. You're going to get fat. I'm normally like that. But today, hey, man, enjoy yourself. Thanksgiving, be a big back. Even if you're not doing the Thanksgiving dinner traditionally, just take Thursday. Thursday should be International Big Back Day. If I could just control people, I know if I could be the king, rule by fiat, I would have everybody be on the strict diet. And then you would get one big back day for your cheat day. And that'd be Thanksgiving. I give you one big back day a month, and that'd be it. Like North Korea, they give you a little biscuit every now and again for a treat. That's kind of how I would do to keep everybody's weight under control. 203, the line speaker to you.
Hey, yo, ABL, what's going on, brother?
What's happening?
Hey, not much, man. I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I heard earlier in the show that you said you might be alone. I just want to wish you a good Thanksgiving, and everybody else out there, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I got a couple things that are on my mind right now. Number one, the most recent thing that happened in the news was the two reservists that got shot. It really got me angry. It got me so angry. I'm fuming right now. I can't get over what's going on right now with the way society is acting, and it needs to stop. We need to get rid of all these people that came into the country illegally, or the people that came in unvetted from Biden's term. I don't like it. I really don't. I'm tired of the death. I really am. Enough is enough already. We need to step up and take our country back. And it's just getting me very, very, very angry. And I want to explode.
I hear you, man. I really do. Now, hopefully you don't explode, but I understand your sentiment, I understand your frustration, because that's something that should not be happening on American soil.
Exactly. My father fought for this country in Vietnam. He passed away when I was 24. I'm 40 right now. I'm thinking to myself, my father's rolling in his grave right now because of the way things are for the country that he fought for.
Right on. Absolutely.
I'm really pissed off. And another thing, I don't want to take too much of your time up, but the thing that President Trump offered to the Americans about the 50-year mortgage loan,
I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. We need to do better than that.
Well, why is that a bad thing?
Because the way the health is for Americans right now, with the way all the additives are in the food, and the whole situation with big pharma and the big food companies, they're all owned by the same people. So what are they doing? They're poisoning us to make us worse in health, and it's not economical for a 50-year mortgage the way our lives are. We have the least amount of years lived in the whole entire world compared to anybody else. And I feel like you'll die when you finish paying off your house, and it ain't right.
Okay, so how about just get a 15-year mortgage?
That is possible, but with the way things are right now, how are you going to afford that?
That's the point of a 50-year mortgage. If you can't afford a 15, give me 50. Like, you have options. You could do a 15, a 30, a 40, a 50, or buy a house in cash. Whatever you want to do, you have options. I think the 50-year mortgage, people kind of focused on that as if it's like a bad thing, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's all about what you were able to do with your money, how ambitious you are, and where you at in your life. That's all it's about. It's about having options. If you're ambitious enough to have a 15-year mortgage, then go knock it out. If you want a 50-year mortgage and that's all you really got, knock that out. You have options.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought it was kind of it was upsetting to me hearing that, with the way my father, grew me and my brother up and had a house for us in a nice area, and he slaved on a daily basis, literally had 1 day off a week. He had 2.5 jobs. It's just, I don't want to see that for the future of my nephew. I really don't. He turned 13 this year. He made it to the playoffs in Little League football. I'm so proud of him. They did lose, though, but, he did good for his first year. He really did.
Right on, man. Absolutely.
But, I mean, with that mortgage thing, it upsetted me.
Ain't no point in getting mad at that because it's just an option. You don't have to do it.
That is true.
It's just an option. Like, it's no reason to get mad about an option that you don't want to take if you don't take it.
It just kind of felt a little disrespectful. That's my opinion.
It's not. It's just an option. It's presented to you in a way that makes you feel a certain way, but your feelings got to get out of it. Just look at it for what it is. It's an option.
Okay. All right, I understand.
Right on.
All right, man. God bless. I love you, ABL. You're the man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody in the chat. And keep on rolling. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Goodbye now.
All right, shout out to my man. Allow me to do my little outro on the call. Shout out to him for that. Great call. But the 50-year mortgage, people got upset. They got their feelings into it. And I know it's not just him. I don't want to attack him because there's a lot of people that got upset about that. But don't get upset. It's an option. You don't have to take it. You don't have to buy a house. You don't have to get a 50-year mortgage or 40 or 30 or 15. It's all about what you were able to do with yourself. Having more options, in my opinion, is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And you can always do different things. If you get a 50-year mortgage, that can just get you the lowest payment possible to begin with. You can always refi. You can always add more money onto the principal to pay it off sooner. Okay, you get big sum of money. You do well in the stock market, something like that. You could put more towards it and pay it off sooner. It's been guys that get 15-year mortgages and pay it off in 5 years. It's so many ways that you're able to go about home ownership. You can be creative with it. Don't just look at the 50-year mortgage as I'm doomed. I can't own anything. I'll never be able to pay it off. Look at it as a tool to be able to achieve what you desire. And you can use that tool in creative ways that aren't necessarily the way that's being presented in front of you. It's presented as 50 years because you're never going to be able to own it. You could take that and pay that off in half the time. You could pay that off before a 30-year mortgage would get paid off if you just made every payment as normal. It's all on you. You have options. That's what I wanted to really stress to my man and to y'all as well. I don't want y'all to get upset about that. It's not a bad thing to have different options as far as how to be able to own a home. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. That will be a wrap from me. I'll be back live again on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here all throughout the week, putting out pre-recorded content on my YouTube, of course, on my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok video every blue moon. Follow me on all those platforms to get all the content, because some things that I put on YouTube, I might not put somewhere else. And some things I put over there, I can't put over here because they're not really going to show it. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. And you know what? I'm going to add one more piece to my man that just got off the phone. Great call, by the way. But I don't think we're going to be able to stop working hard. And if you don't work hard physically, you got to work hard mentally. You got to be able to ascend in some kind of way if you want to be competitive in the future going forward. You see what's happening in China. They're raising their kids like machines. From a little kid, reading, writing all day long, trying to get educated. We cannot fall by the wayside because we refuse to work hard like them. Again, you can work hard physically or you can work hard mentally. If you're not working hard on either one, you're not going to be successful. You cannot put in zero work and get all the benefits. Beautiful home, beautiful wife and kids. You can't have that without hard work in some kind of way, whether it be physical, mental, or a combination of both. That's going to be the story for every person all over the world, unless you're just born rich, so it's spoon in your mouth. Congratulations, you hit the lottery. But for the rest of us, regular everyday people, it ain't going to be like that. You got to work hard, physical, mental, or both. Simple. It doesn't matter how much we advance in technology. It doesn't matter how much more civilized we become. That's always going to be the story. Before technology, you had to pull stuff from your back and do heavy stuff with the meager tools you had. Now we got AI. Hey, man, you don't know how to use these tools. You don't know how to code. You don't know how to deal with that side of it, the technical side of it. You don't know how to lay underwater cable. You can't do that. You don't want to go out on an oil rig. You have to be able to adapt to what society has been able to give you. And if you can't do that, you're going to be destined for a life of mediocrity, in my humble opinion. No attack on nobody. I'm just saying that's just the reality of the world in which we live. And maybe it shouldn't be that way, but it is. I can't change the way the reality is for all of us. All I can do is my best in the reality in which we all live. Very simple. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you all. Have a big back day on tomorrow and the whole weekend. And the leftover. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all a weekend. Well, I'll give you one day. One big back day tomorrow, and then a half big back day on Friday, and then get back to your regular diet. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask y'all a question before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. How long do you keep your Thanksgiving leftovers in the fridge? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? I think by day 3, it's time to go ahead and try to clean the fridge out, you know? I don't want no turkey hash for 6 days after Thanksgiving. No turkey hash and all the remnants shredded up bone. I'm good. I don't want that. But anyway, shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to everybody for watching and retweeting and super chat. And I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I'm reading some of the comments. Y'all say about 2 days tops, 3-4 days. PWX says for years. I believe it. Some of y'all. Toad Squirm says no leftovers. Okay, no leftovers. Shout out to you. Real bougie. No leftovers. We're gonna eat it all. I'm with it. Shout out to you. Hold on. David says, as for leftovers, I start eating them Saturday, but they often make it to Monday or so. Hey, you say you need a 4-day bit back break? I can't do it. You get 1.5, maybe 2, Maybe 2 if it ain't, if you don't have no Velveeta. Okay, 2 days with no Velveeta. If you got Velveeta, you can't even eat that, man. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call the police on you. But anyway, I think that will be a wrap. I got all the super chats. I got everybody recognized. So I'll see y'all again next time, next live stream. But again, I'm here every day putting out live content. I mean, pre-recorded content. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.